Eh. Yeah. Select the funny thing. Please. I cannot. Oh, layer is locked. There we go. Hi. Hello. Hi. Well, welcome to the Bitme stream. I am Mr. Bitme. Good to see all of you. Nothing weird going on whatsoever. Everything is just fine. How has your weekend been? Have you been having a good weekend? I hope you've been having a good weekend. Nah, I'm just joking with you. Get that shit out of here. Come on. No. We gotta bring back, like, the actual, the prime suspect here. Hello! Welcome to the stream, everybody! Hello! Hope you're having a very good day. So, what's been going on with you guys? Anything crazy? I hope things been good. No, that was an imposter. We needed to get out of it. Here. Goodbye. Delete that layer. Blah. Oh, you tried to create a link for something. That's weird. Nah, it's fine. There are protections for that. Don't worry about that. Where's my Pepsi? There's my Pepsi! I need this. When the bit is sus. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, yeah, I just got this all set up and finished today. So, and all the functionality should be here. So, hope you guys enjoy bullying me again. Alright. Bit.png. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That was the Mr. B pose. Mr. B! Invisible Pepsi. Yes. Invisible Beepus. Invisible Sepsis. Alright. Anyway, no, I just recently got this thing set up with VNyan, which is the program that I'm using for the avatar and whatnot. So, and I have got a little bit extra, like, you know, wiggle room and movement and stuff like that. And I don't know. Hello! Invite Snab. Wait, that was supposed to work. Why didn't that not work? Give me a second. I have to go check that. He should have showed up. That's not okay. I'm going to look at my node graph real quick. Huh. Well, that's the start settings. There's the interactions. There we go. Maybe I didn't, like, name invite Snab properly or something. Let me see. What's the name called? Invite Snab. Yeah, that's right. And then it toggles Mr. Snatcher Crab. Send the signal. Yeah, there he is. That's what it should look like. That's weird. Why didn't it do it? I broke the Snab. No, more like, you know. So that's interesting. So why did it not do that properly? I mean, oh! I know why. Okay. So I know I just I showed off the whole, like, hey, look, VTulper is back. I have to hide the screen. I think I remember now. I need to actually log into my Twitch account on this program. Whoops. Let me go do that real quick, and then we should be all set and ready to go. Yikes. That explains a lot of things. Oh, did it automatically? Oh, I guess I was already logged in on this browser. So it's just like, you're done. Okay. I thought I was going to have to, like, input a password or something. All right. Well, regardless, I have enabled Snab, you know, by your request. So there we go. Oh, get out of here. Stream scuff. Anyway, that's new. The whole Snap thing, that's not, like, too ridiculously new. Bit voice without bit is more unsettling than it should be. I mean, I was doing that for the last couple of streams here. Just for a few of them. Let's see, how's my gaze doing? Is that proper? No weird, like, holes in the eyeballs? Hope so. Alrighty. I don't know. Does anybody want to bully me? Run a test. Run one of, like, the lower power, you know, bully the bit options over on Twitch. Boy, my hands just don't like cooperating when I take a drink, do they? Definitely not. Also, how's my smile? No, not everybody at once! It works, though. Yippee! Hooray! Okay, so
That's a stream PC audio. I wonder if I should like make any adjustments to that audio because he's a little bit loud. Let's go over to the node graph again. Okay, so yeah, okay, snap can be lowered a little bit. Ow! I'm working on stuff. Well, we need to live.
We need to live.
Okay. Flinch power. Okay, so volume. Let's lower that down just a tiny bit. Not too much. There we go. I think that'll do it. Yeah, I think that's good. We were prepared for this. we all just randomly started pelting you with various objects. Yeah. It's usually how it works. Also, where's the location of my hands? Is that, like, deep enough? Okay, I might want to, like, pull them out a little bit further, because they're kind of, like, clipping into the shirt a little bit. That's fine. Ow! Do you do those voice edits anymore? What do you mean by voice edits? You mean, like, just random, like, you know, voice memes? If that's the case, yeah. I'll do random voice memes if I come up with, like, you know, an interesting voice meme to do. Soup. Swap. Delicious. Delicioso. Here we go. My fish died to my dog. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, first of all. Not laughing at the, you know, circumstance. That's just really unfortunate. Voiced over some characters from the past games that you played. What? Voiced over some characters from past games that I have played? Don't you do voice edits anymore? Are you talking just like playing video games and then voicing characters as I play video games? Is that a voice edit? I am confuzzled. I'm not 100% certain on what you mean by that. Example, that mushroom kid from Spirit Fair. Voice edits. I mean... Oh, wait, are you talking voice effects? Is that what you mean? Yeah, Dad. I would do that if there was a convenient way to be able to do that. I'm kind of workshopping something. I think you can do voice effects through stuff like Stream Deck and all that stuff, but I've like kind of walked away from doing stuff on VoiceMod, which was the main software that I used. Mainly because I just don't like the AI direction they're going. I don't know. I'm not keen on AI stuff, period. So, and I mean, I could attempt to try and do voice filters using, like, I could use Adobe Auditions, but honestly, I kind of want to cut the cord when it comes to Adobe. So, you know, I'm not really keen on using that software unless it's absolutely necessary nowadays. Yeah, I totally want to have voice filters, though. Yeah, make no mistake. That is something I want to do, but I want to move into something that's a little bit, like, nicer. You know what I mean? Am here, but gonna be doing a mighty old lurk, says Listless. Totally fine. Lurkers are valid. Lurkers be good. Beepus. I am the Beepus man. Now, once again, I'm smiling, and yet my face is actually holding together. I wonder if I, like, my previous install of VNAN, I wonder if I accidentally, like, clicked some sort of a toggle that made it so that if I made, like, you know, ha ha ha, funny smiley face, it, like, defaulted to my neutral. I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that's exactly what happened. Well, the good news is that I had to completely reinstall VNAN, so, yeah, everything should be just fine. Everything works like a charm. Yeah. I mean, works as much of a charm as I can possibly do with a tracker that can only read, like, the front of my hands. I don't know. Snab versus Crab. Pretty sure Snab is going to have Crab Rangoon. Name the fish Snab. Aw. When I hear you play Paper Mario in the next future, I would love to hear your voice. You voice those characters with the voice effects. Yeah, I'm going to keep that in mind, actually. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like cool RPG related stuff that I feel like it would be cool if I had some voice filters on, you know? Well, now that I think I've finally gotten my internet problems more or less sorted out, I'm going to have some time to actually dedicate to other things aside from doing technical support and just being tired. I wish there were present. Wait, I wish I were present for those fail streams because that accidentally hilarious moment was probably magnificent. Which one? What fail stream? I've had a lot of fail streams lately. You know what's funny? The water bottle is like slightly see-through, so I can track water bottles just fine. Maybe I should make that a habit. Maybe I should just start drinking more water because, you know, it does better things when it comes to tracking. Come to think of it, I've really been giving this more thought. Like, I don't like the idea of wearing contacts because I have a phobia of putting things in my eyes. But I really badly want to move over to not using my glasses because the eye tracking without glasses is actually amazing. Like, I don't know if you can tell the difference. I've taken off my my glasses, and you could probably tell that like my eyebrows are probably more one-to-one with what they're supposed to be, as well as like my my gaze is a little bit more accurate to what it would normally be. But the problem is, yeah, I'm blind as a bat without some kind of glasses or corrective lenses, so this ain't gonna fly. So, you know, and if I have to like read a script while I'm currently in the bit mode, it's not gonna work out. Like right now, I'm looking at the chat, and all I see is blobs. It's nothing but blobs. Like, you guys could say the most like inflammatory things that I have ever seen in my entire life based on me right now in this chat, and I wouldn't be able to actually read it. You know? In fact, I'd probably just agree with you to try and keep the awkwardness of the situation down. Being like, yep. I totally agree 100% with everything that I'm currently reading here. Yep, nope. This all here, accurate. Yes, very curious. Snap, what do you think? Wait, what did they say about my mother? I think that'd be great. It should be like, Snap, interpret it. Oh, that's really nice. All right, let me put my glasses back on. I agree with everything I'm reading. Unfortunately for you, I can't read. That sun can't stop me because I can't read. Gotta go get some water now. I'm dehydrated. Well, I don't know if you guys were just like not quick on the draw on that one, or if you were just trying to be nice. You didn't end up posting something just like, I like kicking puppies. No! No. I take it back. Roll it back. Anyway. So yeah, let me give you a little bit of an update. I mean, you guys probably saw my updates that I posted on a couple of different social medias and whatnot, but I've been talking about my solutions related to fixing the internet and stuff. Yeah, a water elemental can get dehydrated. Dude, that can happen. Water is like the base element of a water elemental. If he don't have water, he ain't made of nothing. Akumu's back. Hello. So anyway, and by the way, thank you very much, YouTube audience, for holding out this entire time. Because, yeah, you guys have kind of gotten the brunt of the unfortunate stuff. Because, like, I couldn't really stream to multiple platforms reliably when I had my internet issues. So I kind of just kicked you guys' streams to the wayside. Oops. Bit becomes tiny if he doesn't drink water. Ooh, yeah, let's make that canon. Tiny little bit. Not Bitty Kid. Bitty Kid is like a different, I don't, either young me or it's a different entity entirely. I'm not entirely sure about that. Anyway, so yeah, the solution, it seems, was incredibly easy and incredibly stupid. With a chibi voice. Oh yeah, I don't have chibi voice filter, but just imagine it in your head. Awoo. Water droplet bit. Tiny bit, if not enough water. Give him too much and he become kaiju. Yes. I think that's great. All right. Anyway, let me just roll through the things that have been going on lately. For some reason, wired connection to the internet has been completely broken for me for the past like month or so, and I have not understood why. It just suddenly happened one day, and I wasn't entirely like figuring it out. And so I ended up going through a bunch of different technical support things to try and fix it. And I'm going to be honest, got kind of frustrated at one point. Genuinely, I couldn't think of what the solution was. One day recently, I decided to go through another round of little technical support like steps. Which, by the way, this happened because I talked to somebody like outside of my situation. Like somebody who's been away from it for, the entire time. Which, man, having a second opinion on stuff is super powerful. Do not underestimate how, like, important it is to ask questions to other people. Like, seriously. Sometimes you just need a little bit of help. So, like, they asked, like, well, do you think there's something, like, on your network that might be, not, like, connecting properly with the rest of the network, and it's like breaking the entirety of the thing? And I was like, well, that's weird, because I don't remember really plugging anything in brand new on any parts of the network aside from that modem, and that's it. So like it would be kind of weird if just suddenly everything started being all borked, but that is something that could possibly be happening. So I decided to go right to square one with everything. Completely did a full restart of the entire system from scratch. I plugged in the modem, and I plugged in a computer to see if that would work, and if I got an internet connection through the modem, worked. I then connected my router to the modem, and then attempted to try and connect my computer directly to the router. Worked. Then I plugged in the 8 switch, like the 8 port, like, splitter. Basically, like, it's called a switch. Don't get confused with the Nintendo one. But yeah, it basically just takes one internet connection and branches it off into 8 of them, essentially. I plugged it into that 8 port switch, which had already had a whole bunch of cables connected to various places within the network. And then everything broke. And like I had already had that happen previously, but now I'm starting to think, okay, this little son of a bitch. All right. So which one of you cables is it? Is it one of you or multiple of you? Why? Is the switch the problem? Because I've tried multiple switches in this situation and none of them have worked. So I went and I got the freshest switch that I had on me. And I started to re-plug in everything in my network one by one by one by one by one. So again, plugged it into the internet, worked just fine. Plugged in my stream PC, worked just fine. And then I started plugging in other places within the household, like, okay, here's a line for the basement. Okay, here's a line for the living room. Okay, here's a line for the kitchen. And I charted it down and labeled, like, what happened every single time I did it. And then I tried to plug in one specific one. The whole system locks up. And I was like, you! I have identified the smelly! And yeah, after that, I attempted to try and plug all the rest of the cables in. Those were working fine. So I have determined, I haven't figured out exactly what device is screwing with me, but I have determined the location of where it's happening within my network, meaning that I can now do tech support on that part of the house to figure out which one of the devices is being smelly. I have found the spy! Yes. But the good news is that most electronics nowadays are wireless, or at least have the ability to be wireless. So it really doesn't hurt me or anybody else in the household much to just leave that connection unplugged. You know? Don't really need to. We're kind of thinking at this point that maybe we should just trash every wired thing within that portion of the network and call it a day. Or, I mean, you know, restructuring it so that maybe whatever was causing it will no longer cause it anymore. We don't know. we're still kind of like talking and working through that at the moment. But the important thing is we know now. And that cable is now currently completely unplugged from the network. And, you know, that's kind of the at the very least, if we can't have everything connected to the network, we can at least be fine with just having a partial set of things connected to the network, you know? That's better than nothing. So, yeah, that's kind of the solution at the moment. And at the moment, yeah, we are currently streaming out on a physical connection out to you guys, to the internet, and it is the most stable connection to the internet I have seen in a long time come out of this freaking computer. Specifically, my computer right now, I have directly wired into the new router, which, fun fact, my previous router only had one Ethernet output. Only one. And that was what was going to the entirety of the household. I mean, that worked, but it was also really inconvenient and didn't have a lot of room for flexibility. So, it's kind of nice that I have a proper router that has multiple ports on it now. Thank frickin' God, man. But, oh, also, I want to make a note here. This is all very good stuff, okay? However, this does not necessarily mean that our troubles are completely over. Like, I don't know what was causing the problems. Genuinely, I don't. Because before I was complaining about the whole, like, oh, I've been having these weird dropouts of the internet. That's strange. And for all I know, sometime during this stream tonight, we might have more internet dropouts. I don't know. You know, my problem, that was my problem before. The current problem that I fixed was that I couldn't even get Ethernet. So we're going to see, okay? We're going to see whether or not the computer has any more problems. Hopefully it won't. And we're going to be running this test stream. I'm going to be busy this Saturday. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Will not be able to stream on Saturday. I might be able to stream on Sunday. And for Sunday, I'm planning on getting all of my Discord integration set back up so that we can do a proper casual stream where we can bring in some of my friends and we can hang out and we can chat. And I know that a lot of people are really excited and interested in those streams specifically. And you know what? I do too, because it's a really social experience and I do enjoy it. So, yeah, hopefully that will be nice and smooth. But again, don't know whether or not I'll be doing a Sunday stream. We'll tell you. However, if we have a successful stream tonight, I will be confident enough to just jump right back into streaming full tilt. So, hey, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. We've got a lot of games that I've just been putting off because I didn't want internet issues to jump into it. I'm ready to jump into this like a wrecking ball, man. A water-covered wrecking ball. Basically, turn my head into a wrecking ball. Done. Wire is terrified from being caught. Please, no kill. Would I ever play Kanito Pet? I don't think I would play Kanito Pet on the stream because Kanito Pet, it's got a couple of integrations that like it could possibly leak some information about you, and I'm not really keen on that. So yeah, I probably won't be doing that on the stream. Maybe if I'm really bored, I'll play it by myself. That's about it. Akuma is saying Undertale Yellow. That's one of them. Yep, I put that off. And we got to dive back into that because we were having a lot of fun. I don't even remember what we were doing. I think we streamed that once. And then we had internet issues and we're just like, nope. I think actually maybe we did it twice. Well, that is on the docket for things that I'll be streaming. Use those little disembodied droplets as the wrecking ball chain. Ooh, yeah. I wonder where I can get more of them. Actually, yeah. Let's hydrate so that we can generate some more so that I can just make a gigantic wrecking ball chain. My friend punched me because I forced her to play it without explaining anything. I hope it was a light punch. I hope it wasn't just like, you know, a full haymaker. Boof. It's like, ah! My teeth! Kind of reminds me of like, you know, this is how old I am. Reminds me of those old internet, like, you know that internet maze game where like, you know, it tells you to move the mouse through the maze and then it gets smaller and shorter, and then it like scares you with that one picture of the the one kid from what was it called? That one movie? The one where the kid's possessed? Exorcist? Was it The Exorcist? I think that's The Exorcist. As hard as she could. Ouch! That's unfortunate. Exorcist Girl or Jeff the Killer? Yeah, it was The Exorcist. Well, that's the one that I remember. Although, Jeff the Killer, that was used a lot in jump scares too. I remember, like, at one point, I was actually kind of, like, freaked out by the Jeff the Killer picture. Because I was just like, ugh! That's really unsettling. What the hell? And I think I don't know. The more times I've seen it, the more I'm just like, oh, hey, Jeff, how's it going? Yeah, good to see you, buddy. How's the spook, man? You scared an old lady today? Yeah, nice. Let's see. So what other things could I possibly talk about with, you know, me being on casual stream and whatnot? And now Jeff is the literal face of lost media. Yeah, I have seen a couple of YouTube videos covering that. And it's interesting, like, it's weird the kind of things that we as, like, a collective just kind of, like, latch onto and be like, we're all going to become super obsessed with this one particular song track. Like, what was that one song? Like, you know, everybody knows it. That one. And didn't they just recently crack that one? And didn't they find out that, like, that music came from, you know, slightly spicy sources? I think that's it. Boy, that had to have been awkward. They're just like, we found it. We found the song. Oh, sweet. Okay, where was it? Was it in like a J.C. Penney commercial? Oh no, was it a commercial for like, I don't know, an amusement park from back in the day? It's like, oh, was it from like, you know, a regular like daytime television thing? No, it was in the Borno. It's like, oops. Oh no. Nito is like the old purple gorilla from the early days of the computer. Yeah, Bonzi. You Bonzi buddy. Except even more creepy. Because it knows a lot. I mean, like, Bonzi at least tried to pretend to be your friend and all that jazz. And, like, pretended like it wasn't trying to steal your information and sell you, and, you know, and literally be malware. But, Kanito Pet just, like, outright comes out and just be like, home address. All the jokes about the discovery or origin of everyone knows that is so hilarious. Now, am I wrong about what I said, by the way? Like, by all means, if I'm just spreading misinformation, like, if that's not what the solution was, if we didn't figure that out, oh, please, for the love of all that is holy, tell me, because, it was 100% accurate. Oh, no. I don't love the crepe axolotl. I know you meant to say creepy, but now I'm just thinking about, like, oh, man. Can you imagine if somebody made, like, a crepe, except they shaped it like an axolotl? Chefs, get on it. 5-star chefs, do it. Make it the most amazing, like, make it like the breakfast at SeaWorld. Okay, maybe not SeaWorld. Screw SeaWorld. But you know what I mean. Would eat. Agreed. The axolotl crepe. Please. Delicious. Now I want to look up axolotl cakes. You know what? I'm going to do that. Axolotl cake ideas. Wow. You know, the internet, when it comes to search, the internet is really terrible. But when it comes to useless shit, the internet is still good at it. Okay, I'm looking at this, and a lot of these cakes look like they use fondant. I don't know. Like, there's somewhere you can, like, you know, axolotl, like, designs. and just, pipette that on. A horror game that absolutely under no circumstances should become real. At some point it goes, "Is this you?" and shows a picture of you taken from behind. I don't know how it would happen, and it shouldn't, be perfectly honest. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen, but, with our current state of, constant cameras on all the time, who the heck knows? God, I hope not. Akumu says sharing is caring. Okay, let me look up axolotl cake on the stream PC instead. That way I can drag pictures over. There we go. I don't think I can drag and drop them from browser, can I? I'm going to test. Oh God. Okay, this comes from Pinterest, but I've actually, funny enough, a lot of these come from Pinterest. How much of these are AI? Oh God. I hate that I have to ask that question. I just recently heard that Pinterest is basically a massive amount of AI pictures now. 50% of that damn website is AI pictures. Wait, for real? I've heard. At the very least, I've heard that it's a major problem. Apparently there are some people that they use Pinterest specifically for, art references. So if they were just I wonder if how would that pose look? Or they'd just be I need a picture of a wolf except looking in this direction. And apparently a lot of people use Pinterest for that specifically. And now, yeah, unfortunately, that is something that is being kind of destroyed by AI art, which sucks. Oh, yarn crochet pat. It's a crochet pattern axolotl inside of a cornucopia. I like it. That's pretty. Crocheted axolotl crepes. Well, we done it. We figured it. But on the internet, there are no individual ideas. My art references and my pic saves of memes. You know what? Value your saved files. It's unfortunate. I feel like at this point in my life, I really should have valued more things that I found on the internet. But more often than not, I saw things on the internet, and the first thing I thought was, yeah, okay, that's cool. I'll probably run into it later if it's important. But now, all of that stuff on the internet, I kind of wish I did some kind of archiving or, keeping it or keeping track of stuff. Because now it's well, I'm never going to find it anymore. I'm not going to be able to, discover, all of that stuff. And that makes me sad. See what else is going on the internet that doesn't want to, hurt my soul. Know Your Meme has posted a thing. On this day 18 years ago, Gordon Ramsay was looking for the lamb sauce on Hell's Kitchen. Oh, yeah. Where's the lamb sauce? Where's the lamb sauce? Yeah, I love that. The amount of times that I've made an OC who feels really super specific and 2 months later I find a 2-year-old piece of media that has exactly my OC in it. Yeah, right. Dude, I've actually had, I think it was TikTok specifically. I ended up getting a heck of a lot of people that ended up watching my stuff on TikTok. And I did get a couple of people that have sent me messages being hey, did you steal my OC? Or people who would sort of hint at the idea that I stole their OC. And then I go and I look at their profile and I'm oh, well, very, very similar. It's a water elemental, is a very bubbly kind of person. They wear a similar sort of jacket kind of thing. Very interesting. No, but I've got the feeling that we probably had the exact same idea. And it's weird that there are no individual ideas. It's just a matter of what flavor of individual idea do you put on your thing? Still scrolling through stuff. Made a D&D character who is a Zerial Tiefling Barbarian with one broken horn. And then Baldur's Gate 3 became mainstream and Karlach along with it. See, I don't know much about Baldur's Gate 3. Though, I was talking to some friends the other day and, like, honestly, it's just, it really feels like a casual way to play a D&D campaign. Except more of like not railroaded per se, but like predetermined or preset up with like preset concepts and stuff like, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's like D&D light, you know? Like, okay, you roll dice and stuff is all like based on it's based on the statistics that you roll, but it's like they take a whole lot of those statistics and kind of like bury them in the background and put a lot more the visual stuff in the foreground. And I think that's a heck of a lot better to swallow than just having to do all of the pen and paper RPG stuff, which I don't know, my brain, it just, my attention span is fish. Is it weird that Kanito is one of my comfort characters? Strange, because Kanito would like to know your address. They would like to know your location. And I don't know if that's safe. But okay. Ooh, I'm looking at somebody who posted basically them setting up the dream setup, which is an Xbox 360, old school Xbox 360, like the first one. And then they've got like a crappy flat screen, like one of those really old ones that like didn't have very good color representation. The really grayish looking ones, like the gray screenish. Like basically it's got no color depth. And they're sitting there and they're playing they're playing the original Dark Souls on an Xbox 360. They got a Mountain Dew next to them. It's just like, yeah. Just living right there. Would you make merch one day? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would love to make merch. It's just a question of, like, would that be... I don't know. I don't have a heck of a lot of people that are following me at the moment. Like, if I were to have a fan base that that would be viable to do, I totally would come up with ways of making merch. I'd likely start with some pretty simple stuff like stickers or something related to that. And then I would move into slightly more complicated things. I'd be interested in making shirts, but unfortunately, like, shirts are kind of one of those things that you can't guarantee quality, and I do have a little bit of a problem with that. You know, like, and like, it's not that I don't value... Thank you for saying that you'd buy it. I appreciate that. But it's not that I don't value your purchase and you saying, like, I'd do it. I do. It's a matter of, like, okay, you would. And I would say maybe 7 more people. Okay, I'll be generous and say like 10. You know, 20. But 20 is like, that's a friend group. You know, it's less about like me making wide array of merch. And it comes to the question of like, you know, is the cost of actually making the merch going to be worth it to actually make the merch and also the distribution? I don't know. I'm business brain from that standpoint, and I am trying to like think ahead with that. Also, and this is another thing that I was kind of thinking. Now, while it is more or less kind of accepted between me and Mapley that I am kind of the owner of this particular OC, like Mapley has gone on record to tell me like, you know, it's basically yours. You can own it. You've kind of taken the thing and run with it. But even though she has said that, I'm personally not very comfortable with just going and making some sort of a decision like, making merch based off of Bit. Specifically because, like, yeah, technically speaking, I don't have the rights to do that. Not really. Like, technically I could. I think before I would go and do that, I would want to do a couple of things. Number one, I would want to get the rights, the proper rights, like legally, to the to this particular design, like first and foremost, like 100%. Like in the court of law, you could probably argue that somebody who uses a character for a certain amount of time You know, like the copyright is big. If you don't like, you know, I think it's trademark is the thing that you need to protect. Copyright, not so much, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Because there are no copyrights or no trademarks currently laid out, I feel like you could possibly argue that the use of the copyrighted material is not like... It's hard. It really comes down to, like, you throw it into a court of law, and then you see whether or not a jury sides with you or, you know, other person and whatnot. And for me, I think I would like to, like, settle that. Like, not only because I don't want to have any problems with lawyers sometime in the future, but also I think it's just important to have this conversation right away. You know, I think that's something that you sit down with people and then you actively have the discussion so that, like, it's all set in stone, so that there's no problems later on down the line. You know, I think that's incredibly important. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure, not just from a rights standpoint, but I also want to make sure that I want to work out some plans so that Mapley gets some sort of a cut of the money as well. Like, she's the designer. She's the person who made the thing. Like, and I would like her to have some kind of a cut of it. And I don't know what that would end up being at the end of the day, because, like, you know, I'd probably have to cut 50-50 between the people that are making the merch, and then if I'm an independent VTuber, then maybe I could split it like 25, you know, the 25 between me and Maple, perhaps. And I'm not sure what kind of a cut she would be interested in, but, you know, I would definitely want for that to, I want her to have that kind of money. On top of this, whatever amount I end up making at the end of the day from these sales, I'd like it to be, a considerable amount. You know, like, not a life-changing amount, just enough that I can look at it and I can go, yep, good sale, good sale. You know, you spend $200 to make 20 shirts and then you sell them for $20 each. If only 7 people buy your shirts, you only made $140, not even covering the costs of making the shirts. Bingo boingo. Now, the capital for printing off stickers is actually considerably higher, because you could sell a sticker for a pretty significant amount of money. Like, depending on what kind of sticker it is, you could be selling that thing for like $10. And a sticker, you could buy like several sheets of those for, you know, and if you have all of the tools to actually cut the stickers, that would cost pretty much pennies. So, you know, I think stickers would be a good place to start, just because not only would it be a lot easier, but also it is something that would probably gain like a little bit more revenue. How much did I miss? We're currently talking about merch. Got Elden Ring recently, really enjoying the game. See, I've been thinking about getting Elden Ring before, because, I mean, it's not like I'm completely against the idea of games that are sort of Souls-esque. In fact, recently I've been diving back into Hollow Knight, because it's been a while since I played it, and I wanted a little refresher. And I feel like Hollow Knight is kind of like, ow, frickin' hell! Thanks. Anyway, I feel like Hollow Knight is kind of like a Dark Souls light. You know? I don't know. I haven't really played any other Dark Souls types of games, so I could be talking directly out of my ass. But everybody has praised Elden Ring left and right. So, yeah, maybe. Making a Kanito Pet comic dub. Neat. Go for it. Make the thing. Still waiting for Silk Song, though. Yeah. One day it will be here. It just kind of reminded me, like, you know, me playing a Hollow Knight just kind of reminded me of how freaking amazing that game is. Silk Song is a myth. Technically, we believe it exists, but we do not have clear proof that it does. Silk Song isn't real. Convince me otherwise. Elden Ring does deserve praise. The game is so pretty and so fun. Gonna make a video game, wondering if you had any ideas for funny stuff. Is your video game? And a video game comes in many different, like, sizes. I don't know what would even fit with that. I don't know. Go for it. Be goofy. Be weird. The wait for Silksong and Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 has been easier for me because I have the joys of being a FNAF fan, and we've been well fed for the past few years. Hey, that's nice. I'm like a boo boss from Elden Ring, boy. That is a quote from something that I don't know. Hey, God. Why? I take offense to that. Oh my God, why? I played this game called Cavern of Dreams recently. A million times easier than Elden Ring and Hollow Knight, but it scratched that Banjo-Kazooie itch. Interesting. You know, I've actually seen some indie projects that are attempting to try and make a Hollow Knight-esque type of game. And it's interesting because it's been so long since we have played Hollow Knight games. And, you know, that was in the back of my head. Good God. Boy, I'm glad I set those back up. Yeah, get out of here. Anyway. Would you wear a top hat? Possibly. Very interesting. I wonder what would, if I were to wear a top hat, I need to make sure that it was, like, clear of the bubbles. I'm so happy the toss thing is back. I'm good that I can entertain you. Yes. Poke the bit. There we go. I love that the pie stayed stuck to you when you... Yeah. The systems built into VNAN are really nice, honestly. And it's super convenient. It's so nice to know that, like, just all this stuff is directly built into the thing itself. As well as, there's a bunch of other functions of VNAN that you guys have not even seen yet. You know, I just have to implement stuff. Pink has sent me the source. I will click on it and see what the heck happens. You kill me? Okay. Huggy Wuggy animation. Frickin' weird. Chaos has begun. No, it hasn't. Shut your mouth. We're fine. Nothing strange is going on. What else has been going on as of late? Well, I'm currently fidgeting around with this little fidget toy that I've recently printed. I talked about this in the Discord server, but I got somebody who is having a birthday sometime very soon, and I wanted to make them just a massive flood of fidget toys. Basically, it's just like, happy birthday, boom, just toss them all. But anyway, and I think I'm gonna be printing somewhere around like 8 or so. 8 completely different types of fidget toys. It's wizard time, motherfucker! Fireball! So I got sort of like a joystick kind of thing that like actually has interesting like push and pull inside of the socket. You can like push it in, make it move and stuff, and it's all like spring based. It's neat. I like it. There's that. I'm making them a Slinky Ghost because Slinky Ghost is fun. I think I'm going to make them one of these like sound maker things. I don't know. It's like a little like, it's a cog with like, you know, weird clicky things on the inside of it. I can confirm the ads are working. Yeah. Sorry. Capitalism is currently set in. Slinky Ghost! Yeah, right? And then I've got this interesting little, like, disc spinny thing that's basically made out of a bunch of individual discs, and it's like, you know, spinny boys, which is kind of neat. Oh, there's one I forgot about. Shoot, is this in the folder? I have to find it. Where is it? There's another thing that's like kind of like this, except slightly looser, and like it's really cool to move around on a table. Oh, it's not in here. Oh shoot, I gotta add that. I'm up to like 9 fidget toys. I'm gonna open up a box, dump them in front of him, and just be like, have fun, and then walk off. Meanwhile, he'll look at me just being like, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, thank you, I guess. 3D print ASMR. Yep. Yeah, this thing also has like a really hollow inside. So it's like, it rings a bit. I think I know what you're talking about. I love those. I'm going a little nuts with 3D printing, man. I'm going kind of crazy. There's a bunch of stuff that I've done that's like, in some ways have been practical, and in other ways completely not. You know? And there's a lot of impractical going on right now. Fun fact, I've actually gone and I've just gone and gone on a little bit of a spending spree for some 3D print related stuff. So those are going to be coming in at some point. I ended up like, imagine making a fidget toy with a random bit face. Well, I can do that. Absolutely. Dude, I know Blender. I can edit models. That could become reality. I mean, there was a time when I was considering, like, in the event that I was selling merch, let's go back to the whole merch conversation. I thought about making merch that involved me doing the 3D printing and production of some specific stuff. And then I would price based on the, you know, how much the filament was, how much the labor was in it, and also some other functionality that might exist inside of it. Wouldn't that be fun? Getting a 3D printed device from the bit himself. I think it'd be fun. No, that would be a heck of a lot of work, and I definitely would want to make sure that I'm getting properly compensated for that, because, that's like, you know, that's almost an entire extra, like, job in and of itself, so. Bit. The fidget toy maker. Oh, I'd also have to make sure that the fidget toys were, like, you have to make sure that, like, a redistribution license is a part of that deal, too. See, I've been thinking about the legalese of this, man. I recently got an old printer tray that I turned into a trinket shelf, so I have been buying weird tiny trinkets. Hey, that's the way to do it. Insert old grandpa voice. There was a time... There's a time when you used to print using a thing called a regular printer, and you printed documents on it in only black and white and nothing else. There wasn't that fancy schmancy freaking pink, blue, and yellow stuff that you guys have in yours. And also, our printers just worked. Grandpa, let's be real. Printers have never worked. Yeah, ours worked better. And they didn't nickel and dime you for the ink either. Snabe. Hey, Shadow. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Again, I'm currently just messing around with fidget toys, getting very distracted, and thinking about, like, you know, other stuff. Why his eye twitch like that? It just happens, man. Keep in mind, like, my tracking ain't 100% perfect. I have a 3D printer and I printed 50 jacks. Wait, 50 of them? Why would you... You don't even want one? Why did you print out 50? What the frig? Get a new computer soon, so I hope it fixes that lag that happens out of nowhere along with better Wi-Fi, maybe. Possibly. If it is a hardware issue. Bit is a slight amount of crazy. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm not crazy. You're crazy. I love Jax. I love Jax because I love to hate him. You had to print old documents in black and white in the snow on a bike 15 miles uphill both ways with tiny dogs chasing you. And also, it was raining and there was a lightning storm. Making a room dedicated to Jax. Wow. Good luck. Good luck with that. Woo. That is a lot of Jax. So, I mean, look. I am slightly insane in the fact that I also obsess over random bullcrap. One of them being printing out the N64 logo. So, you know. I can't pretend like somehow I am not any better or worse. Chihuahuas. Freaking terrifying. Pomni. Pomni! Funny enough, I think there is actually a 3D print of Pomni that you can make. Or, if you don't want to go through the effort of 3D printing a Pomni, Good Smile made the announcement that they are making a Pomni figurine, and it looks amazing. Have you guys seen it? Have you guys looked it up? It's adorable. I should look that up. Ah, dang it. Dang it, that's not what I wanted to find. Maybe if I do this. Was it Good Smile that's making it? Hold on a second. Let me look up figure. I just remember there was talk of a Pomni figure that was being made. I want to find it. Maybe it's news, possibly. I mean, for all I know, maybe it was like a different company and it wasn't Good Smile, and maybe just Good Smile is like on my mind. So let me go and check. Okay, so I know that they do make a PVC model and they sell it at the Glitch store. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. You can definitely buy plushes. Holy freaking crap. What's your favorite quote from The Amazing Digital Circus? I think it might be Jax going like, "Shh, I can't hear the escalator." That's such an asshole move. Again, I love to hate him. Didn't read the original message, so when I heard they printed 50 Jax, I thought, no, they can't be talking about him. They must mean Jax, like those old toy things. See, 50 Jax would be a good idea. That'd be an interesting idea. Also, although, I don't know if they would bounce the same, because isn't the entire point of Jax is that they're supposed to, like, or, like, yeah, what's the point of, what's the point of Jax? What is it? Like, isn't the idea is, like, you bounce a ball, and then you go and you, like, try and grab some Jax before, like, before you catch the ball? I don't know. It's like a coordination toy, if I remember right. I don't know. I don't play Jax because Jax is one of those things that's like, who plays Jax? Who does that nowadays? I don't. Sorry, I'm still fiddling around with these fidget toys. Oh, another thing that I'm going to be printing them. Here, I have the funny sort of fidget spinner thing that's made out of gears. You can see my tracking goal all freaky. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, I'm going to be taking... I'll print one of these. See, the big question, though, is I'm wondering what color I'm going to be making pretty much all of these things. I've already printed off a bunch of stuff, but there's a few things that I'm like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to be working a little hard on that one. What's the color going to be? Have you seen those silicone squishy hamsters on TikTok? What? First of all, I've actually not touched the TikTok app in a really long time. Mostly because, like, I've been really focusing in on a lot of stuff. And I haven't had time to just sit down and scroll through TikTok feeds. Probably for the best, because that's a lot of time that I don't want to be just pouring into TikTok. But no, I've not heard about these squishy hamsters. Very curious. Let me see if I can find that one thing that I'm printing that I'm really excited to have done, because it's not quite done. Head off to printables. Green light it. There we go. Do I need to green light anything else? I love... Oh, hey! NoScript would like to enable Cookie Pro. Would you like Cookie Pro? No. I mean, cookies are nice, but these are internet cookies we're talking about. I'm calling bullshit on that. Here we go. Ah! No, not Fidget. Fidget, you jerk. My most common response to, have you seen the blank from TikTok, is, the what? TikTok is an interesting ecosystem, that's for sure. It's weird that, like, you know, stuff will go really ridiculously viral over on TikTok. Eventually, it does leak over to the rest of pop culture, but it takes a while. Here, why don't I just go ahead and pull up a bunch of images for the thing that I made. Several things that I've made. Okay, well, I didn't make them. These were made by, like, other people. Here, I'll open that guy. Here, let's sort this by most popular, because that's how I found most of these. Yeah, give me a moment. I'm going to go and do a round of collecting, like, random ass pictures. Oh, you sent it on the share. Okay, give me a second. What the hell are you? I hate it. Why are you... Bah! It's strange. What material are you made of? Also, the music cut out at, like, the perfect time in there. What do you mean you hate it? It's squishy, it's strange. I don't like. It's adorable. Most incredible thing to hear without context. Let me pull it up. What the hell are you? Ooh, I made one of the... Okay, yeah. I'm gonna pull up all the pictures of the things. And I'll give you a little tour of all of them. I'll pull this one up just because I attempted to try and make this, but I think I failed, and I don't know what I did wrong. And I will likely try to find something else that does a very similar job. Yeah, okay, I got one of these. Ah, Terraria music. Ah! Fart! Throwing things at me. See, that's the button that lets me know that I'm being too quiet and not entertaining enough. Because suddenly everyone goes, well, I gotta entertain myself somehow. Yippee! There, oh, okay, there's the thing that I am very excited. Okay, I think I need to, do I need to adjust that hitbox a little bit? Oh no, it's connected to my shirt. That's even harder to grab. I was just like, that should have like landed a little bit closer to like my mouth, correct? Num num. Bought a bracelet that can track turtles. Weird. Also, has anybody been testing out the text-to-speech stuff? Because I also included that in my install of OBS, and hopefully it works just as good as the previous one, because it is the previous one. Just a reinstall. The good news is that unless I'm being a complete goober, I tend to speak fairly well, so I don't see it. Let me check real quick. I mean, it says captions, and it should be outputting to Twitch. God, I hope it's visible somewhere. Let me check real quick. I'm gonna pull up Twitch on one of my browsers here, just so I can see if like if it's an option for me, maybe. There we go. Mute. And then where would it be located? Maybe in settings? Or no? Where would closed captions be on frickin'? Haven't seen, let me see. Okay, yeah, I don't see that in here. Weird. I wonder why not. Oh, you know, I wonder if maybe perhaps it's on YouTube. Does it even work on YouTube? Maybe it's just broken because I'm currently, my primary output is YouTube out of technicality and out of necessity. So maybe it's on YouTube only. And if that's the case, how do I fix that? Ooh, oh boy. Okay, this might have been broken for a while and I wouldn't have even known it. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go over to YouTube. No, shut up. Okay, it says subtitles and closed captions are unavailable. Okay, that sucks. I'm gonna have to test that a little bit later then. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to possibly pull that off. That's unfortunate. Okay. Because I like the idea of having some closed captions. Dang it. Kind of wish that was something that was just built into stream windows nowadays. And not like something that I had to turn on my end. That seems weird. Like that should just be a thing that's built directly into stream windows for like accessibility reasons. Huh. Okay, well, there's something that I'm gonna have to do something about later. Duck season. Rabbit season. No, it's Cartoon Network season. The bastards. I know everybody and their dog has been kind of shitting on them at the moment. Just because, like, yeah, they fired a lot of people. And all because they're like, but money. Economy. Shareholders. Yippee! No. Shareholder bad. I miss Steven Universe. The good news with Steven Universe is at the very least, Steven Universe got like proper ending and also it hung around for quite a long period of time. So there is some positive there. I'm more upset about like the shows that ended up getting maybe like a season or like 2. And then they just threw the season out afterwards. Just be like, nope, not worth it. It just seems like a waste of like time, money, and resources. And I know that like, okay, so maybe it would have been like a waste of time, money, and resources if you kept the show as well. But I don't. More often than not, I just see so many cases of Cartoon Network specifically that they just seem to be really invested in just starting stuff and then throwing it out later. I don't like it. One of the greater gifts to a show is being allowed to end instead of being forced to stay alive without a soul. I agree. Yeah. They could have ended SpongeBob whenever the heck they wanted. They could have ended it when Steven Hillenburg was still around. But no. No. We have to have our moneymaker. I'm still very butthurt about that. This show is getting so much fan love and people love it. Cancel it. That's how it feels sometimes, yeah. Okie dokie. All right, I'm pulling up a bunch of images of... Oh, oops. They're all WebPs, but thankfully, OBS actually works with WebPs, and it's like very few freaking platforms do that, especially old platforms, old stuff. There we go. Sadly, I don't have a whole bunch of these sitting around like with me right now. But there we go. Show that has kids that had secret code names and something got leaked. Do you mean Codename Kids Next Door? And what do you mean something got leaked? Infinity Train, yeah. See, I have not watched Infinity Train, but I know that I got a lot of friends who like were really into that show. Okay, so I have a couple of these fidget devices in front of me right now. Oh wait, I'm missing one of them. Shoot. Give me a minute. Let me go and... I'll go grab that real quick. I know which one it is. Oh, come on, printables. Why are you being a jerk? Just to make sure it's not me. Give me a moment. Nope, my output is totally fine. For a very, very brief moment, I was like, please, for the love of everything that is holy, do not tell me that this is a problem on my end. Because if it turned out this was an internet-related problem, I would have gone and had to done it. I would have done a kill. I would have done a murder. I would have just been like, no! No, it's fine. I think it's something on their end. It's raining snabs. Yay! Hallelujah, it's raining snabs. Hey, snab. Anyway. Something with space and it got leaked, but it was meant to come out on April 1st. Weird. Okay. Can I noms the fidget toy? No! No. PLA is not edible. Though it's the most non-toxic option. I say most non-toxic because, I mean, it's plastic. You know, plastic ain't exactly a non-toxic option. Coughs. Many snaps. I want to noms. See, the good news is that certain types of PLA have been used for medical procedures because technically PLA is made out of corn product and stuff like that. So it's not inherently ridiculously poisonous for the body. I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to be around it all the time. I definitely want to make sure that like you have your air purified while you are working with it, which I do. I wouldn't eat it though. Not a good idea. Don't do the thing. I like ripping plastic apart, not sure why. There's something satisfying about it. Kind of makes you, it's just like, ooh, what consistency is it? Is it rubbery? Or is it more stiff? Where does this plastic hail from? Anyway. Yeah, let's talk about some of the fidget toys that I've printed out for Friend. Once again, I don't have a picture for this, but it's a little, like, gear toy that has a little clicker in it. So when you move it, it makes a satisfying sort of, like, clicky noise. ASMR. He's nice. I enjoy. And then we got this guy, who is a stretchy ghost. I have made... Frickin'... Okay, show over. You don't want to see any toys? Just... Anyway. Yeah, I've made a little slinky ghost. Oh god, I didn't. These were not made by me, by the way. I did not design these. All of these are available at Printables, and they are made by people that are on that website. For the love of all that is holy. Sorry that I don't have, more people's names. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I printed out one of these guys. It is basically, yeah, just a slinky. Except it is a ghost. And you can, like, pull it, and it looks funny. Remove the picture off of YouTube, chat. I will not. Boo! He's a spooky. We can't see. We can't. I'd love it if just being like, oh god, wait, remove it from the chat. YouTube chat can't see. They're being blocked by the ghost. It's basically a bunch of ghosts. We're blind. Where the heck else am I supposed to put this thing, eh? What do you expect me to do? There's not a whole lot of real estate in this screen. Anyway, so there's that. And then, we got this, which is kind of one of my personal favorites. Which is this gear spinner. I have printed many of these, and I have a personal one sitting right here. And again, I showed this a little bit earlier. It's basically sort of a low-powered fidget spinner, except all of like the gears to make the spin happen. All of the gears like spin, and it is super cool. Looks shiny. Where can I buy it? Well, I printed this on my 3D printer, so there might be third-party sellers if the people that allow for this thing to be printed allow them to sell it as well. So you might be able to find one being sold somewhere. But it's nice. It's fun. This guy in particular actually has a bunch of different versions of fidgety spinner kind of devices and like spinny gear things. I've been thinking about printing a couple more of his stuff just because it looks really neat. Put more spinner in your spinner so you get 65% more spinner per spin. Anyway, let's remove that guy. Sharing is caring. And then I made one of these. You've probably seen this in a couple variants. You've probably seen this in store, frankly. It's these little, like, cube bundles that you fold them, and, like, they fold, like, multiple different ways. And, like, they're kind of, like, infinitely foldable. Like, one of those things. It's kind of neat. I like, and I especially like these because they have, if you zoom in on them, they actually have, like, little patterns on the inside of them. I decided to go for the honeycomb pattern. And I also went with a filament that is a silk shiny pattern. So basically... like to finish off those gears that we saw earlier, looked almost metallic. Yeah, I did that for the cube, and it looks really nice. So yeah, I made one of those. And then, yeah, here's something that I would like to make. You guys just reminded me that I do not have one of these printed just yet. These fun things. It's like, it's a design where you print it in place, and then all of these little interconnecting things like interlock with each other, and it's sort of like the whole, you know, Star Wars lightsaber toy effect kind of thing, where like it can sort of expand out a little bit. But the coolest part is like putting it on a table and like sliding it around and watching all the individual pieces sort of like move around independently. He's very neat. And I'd like to make that, and I really wish I had like that rainbow filament. I don't, and I'm not planning on getting it anytime soon, so I will likely just go for, you know, a nice glossy filament or something like that. Now here's something that I attempted to print. Oh, Listless has rated me with a party of 2. Yay! Hello! Welcome to the stream. That is amazing. Also, yeah, the Scuttles. Thank you for coming in. I'm back, says Listless. Howdy, hey. I'm currently just going through a bunch of the things that I have 3D printed for that birthday party for the friend. And, yeah, we're just kind of, like, geeking out about a bunch of fun, tactile, like, goofy stuff. But, yeah, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Now, let's move into... So, the norm? Yep. By the way, for people that are coming in that don't know, yeah, I need to start doing this a little bit more often. I see a lot of VTubers do this whenever they get rated, and I really need to do that too. I need to do more self-promotion. I need to actually promote myself. So yeah, hello, I am BitB, I am a VTuber, and I am a water elemental. And I'm goofy, and my brain trails off a heck of a lot, and all of that stuff. Mainly what I end up doing is I play somewhat between like casual games and also fun like 3D platforming types of stuff. Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, whatever is kind of on my mind, whether it be like a nostalgic romp through something I played a long time ago, or maybe something that looks really fun and engaging and interesting. And I'm also a Nintendo fanboy, so can't help it. But thank you very much for stopping in. And again, I have a 3D printer, and I'm currently going nuts for that hobby. So here's a 3D print that I tried to make, but honestly, kind of disappointed me. Wasn't really interested in it. Here we go. This recently was uploaded up to the Printables website. Printed Place Fidget Clicker. And for me, it printed perfectly fine. My main issue that I had with it is that it just like... It seemed like the buttons took forever to finally get loosened enough so that they could actually actuate, to a point that like I tried to actuate like that one little rocker on the side, and the rocker like actually broke off of the hinge that was on because I put too much pressure onto it. And honestly, maybe this thing works for some people. I don't know, but for me, I just don't think so. I don't know. Oh, Shell's heading off. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Still need to get a 3D printer one of these days. I'm warning you in advance. If you get a 3D printer, it is a rabbit hole that is going to consume you. Okay? Warning? I just call him Shell. That's how they say to pronounce it. But anyway... Yeah, no, I didn't like it. Also, on top of that, it is definitely extremely small. Like, this thing doesn't really fit in the hands very well. And I don't know. It's just, it feels like it's doing way too much work. Like, there are way too many things that this thing can do, and it's not really great at any of them, you know? So, I just decided I'm going to axe that. I don't necessarily need that. Art is also a rabbit hole that consumes. That's fair. But, like, 3D printing specifically. Again, I just recently, like, bought a whole bunch of, like, 3D printer filament. And I don't know where I'm going to put it. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll probably figure it out. At this point, I'm thinking about just getting a rack. You know what I mean? Like a full-on 3D printer filament rack that I can put them all on. At the moment, I'm currently only storing them in a box in, like, plastics with desiccant in them. Not very bougie. You know? Get one of those wheelie toolbox things. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I could possibly do. Here's the thing. I just recently bought, like, 16 rolls. I can't make it a tiny wheelie box, that's for sure. So, yeah. So you got to remember, when it comes to a 3D printer, it's not like you can buy a cartridge of, you know, cyan, magenta, and yellow, and then suddenly you can print all the colors in the rainbow. Each printer color that you buy is separate. So, yeah. If you want to be printing a specific shade of green, you got to buy that specific shade of green. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I don't know why I like the sparkly emote. It's good. Sparkly emote is fun. Anyway, so there was that. Now this one, I'm kind of debating on whether or not I want to print this for them. It's a little wafer thing. So basically, it's like made out of little interconnecting sticks, and then it like bends back and forth. I have not printed this yet, but I'm holding judgment until I actually print these things at least once. And then I test it out. I see whether or not, like, it's really tactile and fun for me. And if it's tactile and fun for me, I'm like, you know what? Yep, I'd gift this to somebody. But I got a feeling that I'm going to probably print this and go, you know. So we will see how that goes. Okay, and this is the thing that I was talking about a little bit earlier. Joy Fidget 2.0. I got me one of these things. I've already printed it out right here, in fact. It's just a little joystick, and then you can flick it back and forth, and it's got sort of the tactile feel of a controller joystick. And the way that it's pulled off is if you look inside this one that has like the yellow top, no, the white top. If you look in the one that has the white top, you can see that it's got like a coiled spring on the inside of it. And that's how it does the spring mechanism. You know, the thing that like actually makes the joy like spring back into place. And you know, it actually works pretty well. I wouldn't guarantee that this would work on like an actual controller, but it's kind of nice. Like, it's nice to have like a little control stick or a control knob to flick back and forth. You can like press it in a little bit. It's neat. It's a nice, and also the 2.0 model has been redesigned so that it fits a little bit nicer in your hand. So, you know, you hold it with your middle finger and then you just go to town. It's fun. I like it. So I was like, you know what? Yep, throwing that in the box. And then I was talking about this one a little bit earlier. This guy. This is sort of a... It's almost a variant of something like this. You know. Except it's not really made for, you know, putting on a table and sliding it around. This is more made for just holding it in your hand and sort of like spinning it. I have it right here. I have printed it out of like a burnt titanium color, which is like blue and purple and shimmery, which is kind of nice. But it's kind of spinny, and all the inner portions of it spin independently. It's not, you know, it doesn't have any actual connectors to it. Like, it's all just sort of like printed in place and all get, you know, stick together just because of the way they're shaped. And at first I didn't like it because I was just like, I don't know. It's kind of awkward, and it's kind of chaotic where all the circles go, you know? I feel like I'd prefer for this thing to have a little bit more consistency or, you know, be on a particular swivel. But the more I used it, the more I realized, you know what? No, that's actually kind of the appeal. This thing just kind of spins around and does whatever the heck you want. Or whatever the heck it wants. It's a little unpredictable in that way, and it's kind of fun to watch it go, you know? And there are many different random ways that you can spin it around. So, yes, I was just like, you know what? You pass. I'll go ahead and print you. Let me remove that. Okay, any more I'm missing? No, I think so. Did you know that now on, you can call the bots and, what? You can now, I don't know. I don't really use any sort of AI bots, so, And honestly, very little much of a care. Sorry about that. AI is not really my bag. Is building any of these hard, like assembling and printing? Well, let me pull this back up here. For this guy specifically, it was not hard at all because literally this is just print and you're done. Like it prints. It's called print in place specifically. You print it flat on the printer bed, and because of the way that like all of the interlocking circles are sort of like curved, they are held together via like, just their shape, essentially. And you don't need to like interlock them at all. At least for this one. Let me go ahead and remove that. Same thing can be said about, again, this one. It's a print-in-place fidget clicker, but like I said, it's a little too tiny, and also it's a whole lot of one thing trying to do many things badly, in my opinion, so I wouldn't personally print something like that. This is another thing that is a print-in-place thing. It prints, and all the interlocking pieces are just printed in place. So, yeah, that works. Don't worry, you guys will only be blinded for a brief period. You'll be good. Same thing goes for this. This is another thing that, like, you just print it, and then you kind of, like, move it back and forth a little bit, and then suddenly, like, oh, everything loosens up. So, that's another thing. This is kind of a print in place, though it's a little finicky. So once you get done printing it, all of the individual layers will be sort of like stuck together in a way. And so in order for you to actually use it as a slinky, you have to kind of like break the loop and like, go down the loop like one by one by one by one until eventually it's all completely free. But once you do that, it is a perfectly working slinky, and I'm honestly kind of impressed by, just how easy and simple it was to make the thing. You versus Kanito. I'm pretty sure Kanito will find me and break my kneecaps. I don't know how they would do that because they don't have any arms, but yeah, we'll see. Now, the things that are not just print and play is this guy, for example. For this, it actually does require you to print all the pieces separately and then stick them all together. Now, this thing does work with friction fitting. Like, all you have to do is basically stick the pieces together and they should hold together in theory. But from my experience working with this thing, while technically that is true, depending on how well the friction fit goes, it could slide out. So I would actually recommend that for something like this, keep something like super glue on hand in the event that you absolutely need to stick the pieces together. Just be sure that like you don't accidentally use too much super glue and end up sticking any of the parts together in any, like, for example, you only want to be gluing down maybe the frame. You don't want to be gluing down the gears that are supposed to be moving around. You know what I mean? Be very cautious. Only glue the parts that like should be stuck together and should not move. Why does the fidget spinner look like a churro? Damn it, now I'm hungry. Ah, man. Let me remove that guy. Waffle with chocolate syrup. Yeah, I can see it. Snatcher versus Canito. Oh, shoot. I spilled a little bit of Pepsi. A little bit of Beepus. It's fine. It didn't get on anything important. And also, I have paper towels that are conveniently right here. Caution. Luckily, I drunk most of that. Pepsi tried to escape. Beavis is sending me a message. There we go. No, don't want ants today. Let's just make sure that it's completely clean here. Also, let me lift up the mouse pad a little bit. Which, luckily, the mouse pad that I use is like metal with a rubber bottom. I remember back in the day, mouse pads used to just be like big old bricks of foam. Oh, man. You spill those on those, and like the mouse pad is dead, basically. Either that, or you just live with a mouse pad that's grody. Which is something that I ended up having to do. The Pepsi said, "Freedom! Escape!" Luckily, there's still a little bit more, so yeah. Alright. Okay, and one more thing that I wanted to mention, though, but this guy right here, funny enough, so the way that this is printed is that it prints the bottom part. You know, you print that flat on the printer bed, and then you print that top part flat on the printer bed. And then they come together with like a screw top setup. Technically, I have it right here, and if I wanted to, I could unscrew those two pieces and make them all separate. You can't see it, but you know, that's what I just did. And then I can screw it back together, and bada bing, bada bam, it's back to what it was good at, which is being a funny little fidget thing. So, you know, you can mix and max the colors. Mix and match. Mitch and Max. Who the heck is Mitch? Everyone, let's troll bit. No! Don't do it! Sounds fun printing these things. I'd especially want the Joy Fidget 2.0. It's kind of nice. It's like, I don't know. He's got a little bit of the tactility to it. Troll bit. For God's sake. I think that hit my eye. And goodbye, Beepus. Need some chaos in the background. Just like car accidents or something. Or like a train derailing. I don't know. Random muskrats running around. I don't know. Anyway. There's one more thing that I'm going to be printing. And this is like the big present. This is the one that it's just like, this one took all of the work. Every single ounce of the work. And it is this guy right here. And this is made by 3D Printy. So thank you for putting your watermark in the corner, because my brain is absolute applesauce. This thing's freaking cool. This is, without a doubt, my favorite one, just from, like, what it does. Basically, it is just nothing but a bunch of, like, individual switches on, like, you know, a tiny little device thing. It's just like you press the button, and it makes a tactile click noise, and then you turn it around, and it's got buttons on the other side, too. And then you click it the other way. And it is so freaking cool. I've already started working on it, and I have all of like the middle parts finished. Now the problem is I have to work on all of the actual buttons. And that's going to take a little bit of effort, because I do want to make it out of multiple different colors, just from the I don't know, just from the visual aesthetic. I'd like it to be multicolored. But the question that I'm currently asking right now is, if I go ahead and print this, what about the other side? Like, what colors should I make the buttons on the other side? Should I mirror them so that they're the exact same color on the other side? Or should I just go crazy with it and make them completely different colors for both sides? I don't know. I don't know what would be like more visually aesthetically pleasing. Like, I don't know if like I feel like there is a little bit of satisfaction from like the perfect symmetry between the front part of the button and the back part of the button being exactly the same. At the exact same time, though, I feel like the variation might also be pleasing. I don't know which one. I'm not sure which one to go with. So, I don't know. I guess what would you guys do in this circumstance? Would you go for like, you know, exact same colored buttons on the back, mirror, like a perfect mirroring? Or would you just decide to go crazy and like, you know, put like whatever colors wherever the hell you want? I'm unsure. I'm gonna do a big stretch real quick. Maybe mirroring? Possibly. I've seen another variation where there was like a crisscross pattern that only used like 2 colors instead of all the colors under the rainbow. See, the way this guy actually advertised this 3D printing guy, is he advertised that the buttons themselves don't take up a heck of a lot of filament. So this is a really good project for people that have like spools of filament that don't have a lot of filament on them and that you just need to use up. And I kind of agree with them. This would be kind of a nice thing to use up some rolls that like, well, I can't make a big thing, but I can make a bunch of tiny things. You know? So, yeah, might go for that. All right, but that's just one variant of it. So I'm debating with myself on a couple of things here. So we've got, you know, I've got 3 different variations of this thing that I'm thinking about handing over. Oh, actually, 2 specifically. There's this one. And then there's another variant that is this guy right here. You see the slightly taller one? That one is for like handheld mode, where you just hold it in your hand and click it on one side and then turn it around and then click it again, you know, whoop. Which I think that would be satisfying. I'd make them the same colors, but in reverse order. So mirroring. Yeah. Well, you might have more reason to think that because there's actually a picture of another version of this that I would like to go and find. For some reason, Printable's website is just not working right now. Why? Is it the browser? Here, let me go use a different browser. Ew, Microsoft Edge. Disgusting. No, I don't want recipes. Go away. Here, let me look up click. Nope, that ain't right. Well, at least I can actually get to the website now. Here, most popular. Oh, hey, I can grab the picture of the one thing that I didn't show you earlier. Here, let me go grab that. And then there's 3D Printy, so I'm gonna go over to his shop and take a look at 3D models. Most views. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen this and gone like, what the fuck? And then let's go to remixes. There's actually, he made a remix of his own Snappy device based on a couple of other people's variations. God, I love this track. And by the way, this is Jake Kaufman, and this is from the Mighty Switch Force 2 soundtrack. Let's replace that. Really cool turtle, fidget turtle that you can 3D print. Maybe. I'm kind of going for, like, you know, visually clearly a fidget device. Not necessarily like a fidget device in disguise or one that looks like other things, if I can help it. Okay. So first of all, here's a picture of that that gear clicker that I was talking about. Here. This guy. The one that goes... Yeah, I printed that. And it's fun. It's nice. It's a little sharp on the thumb. Like, just a little bit. Like, if you zoom in on the gears there, yeah, you can see that, like, that kind of digs into your thumb just a little bit. Not enough that it's, like, you know, super distracting or a problem, but enough that, it's... There's a little bit of, like, less satisfaction with it. But maybe that's just me being a big old baby. So, I don't know. Regardless, I like the thing. So, but then, here's, like... So, I've got a couple of options for what I could possibly do. I could either make that one... you know, basically the clicker box, or I could make this. And I've already gone and made both of these. I've made both the square variant, and I've also made this variant, which is the hexagon variant. It uses round buttons instead of square ones, and it uses kind of the exact same click mechanism, albeit the buttons are actually taller in the housing. You can actually tell, like, that one back there is actually a little bit thinner. This is a much thicker device, and I somewhat prefer the square device just because of the form factor and the fact that, like, it is slightly smaller and it's a little bit more handheld. The circular one is just a little bit more chunky than I want it to be. You know what I mean? But there is a satisfying thing of, like, ooh, it's circles. And, like, I think the circles are a little bit satisfying. I don't know. So I'm in a debate situation. One of these is going to my friend. The other one's going to me. So, I don't know. Trying to figure that out. So it's either I'm going to print that guy, or I'm going to print off... I don't know. I'm printing off both of them. I'm just deciding which one I'm going to give up. I don't know. I could always, like, you know, print another one for myself. In theory. I don't know. But yeah, I've been going absolutely nuts when it comes to the 3D printing stuff. Clearly. I've also got some other projects that I'm working on that, like I said, I have actually been considering the idea of, like, what if I made merch except 3D print? I mean, eventually, if something gets popular enough, you don't want to do a 3D print of it. Instead, you want to move manufacturing over to somebody that can actively use molds and manufacturing methods that way. Because 3D printing can be a little bit wasteful in certain ways. So, it can be wasteful if you're, like, mass manufacturing. And it takes way too much time. So, you know. I guess this is a nice way for me to, like, workshop my ideas. And that's kind of the entire point of a 3D printer. A 3D printer is specifically for, like, 1, workshopping ideas to make sure that they work. 2, making something that no other manufacturers are currently making at the moment. You know, something that actually fits your needs. But yeah, I've been doing a combination of both of them, and it's been helping out. It's been doing a lot of cool stuff. Ooh, you're doodling? Neat. Now, speaking of, actually, God, there's one thing that did I show you? I don't think I showed that one picture here. Did I? I don't remember. Time has just been going by, like, so freaking fast. First of all, where's Discord at? Come on, you freaking freak. Come on. I was just like, I used the right keyboard. Ah! One of the devices fell. It fell over. There we go. Let me head over to... I think I must have I must have made this on the server, right? There we go. Boy, my hand tracking does not know what to do with my hand being underneath the desk. They're just like, whoa, where'd it go? Where'd it go? I'm scared. Where did you go? Where did you hide? Let's see. Was I kind to myself and did I save the picture over in this location? Nope. Well, then that means it's probably over in the BitB chat area. Pierce is here! Hello! Welcome out to the stream. Thank you very much for coming in. Just an update for the whole internet thing. We have had a total of 0 drop frames, and we've been streaming for about 2 hours now. So, hallelujah. Did Spider-Man fix the web? To be fair, if Spider-Man actually did fix the web, it would be fixed for about maybe like a couple of days, and then the entirety would be rebooted. The entire thing would be rebooted. So then we'd be back in the exact same situation over and over and over and over again. Give me a second. I'm just grabbing some pictures from the wild world of the internet. There we go. Curse you, web peas. Curse you! Doth internet do good? Anyway. So, here's another 3D print thing that I did recently, and I don't remember if I talked about this or not. I think I did, but I'm gonna say it anyways, just because I don't know. The subject is here. Then Spidey makes another deal with the devil to reboot the internet again. Yeah, right. Anyway, so yeah, big old picture. I'm being good. I'm learning how to what the heck? Oh, okay, there we go. So yeah, I printed off a bunch of these things. Look at you learning, says Listless. Don't make fun of me. Cries in proud dad. Stop judging me. So anyways. So, this right here. I printed this not too long ago, and this was a commission thing that my brother asked for. He's got a workshop where he owns... Frickin'! I can't even eat it! Get out of here. Anyway. So anyways, my brother has got like a workshop that is absolutely just caked in DeWalt tools. Like a crap load. I think my brother like sold his soul to DeWalt essentially. And what he needed was he needed a workstation where he could put all of his batteries after he had finished charging them. And so he asked me to print out this one particular print that is this. And it is designed to fit these DeWalt 20-volt batteries, or DeWalt 20-volt batteries that have the similar connector sort of thing. Here's a picture of what they look like sort of in action. This is not the picture of the actual things, clearly. But like that's kind of what it's supposed to look like. You know, you nail them up to a board or something like that, and then your battery does a heckin' hang on the wall, and it's just a nice place to store your batteries. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I can make that for you, no problem. And the only thing that I asked of him was, pay me the amount of money that it's going to cost to actually get myself a roll or two of filament. And he was just like, oh, yeah, done. Shoot. He handed me like $20, and I was just like, okay. And then I went and I bought a pack of like a 2-pack of filament, which turns out when you buy filament when it's that cheap, you end up getting some bum filament. Oops. All I know is that I'm probably not going to be going for that brand again. Unless I can do something to maybe improve the quality of the filament, which, I I think it might have something to do with water and saturation. Because, like, I don't think the desiccants that came in with it were good. I think they kind of sucked. And also, I don't know. I feel like it got wet at the factory and then got packaged. Because it just seems like it's garbage. It's garbage quality and it strings too badly. So for me, I'm like, you know what? I prefer... So that's actually one of the things that I am buying in that big old package of 3D printing equipment. I'm buying a filament dryer so that in the event that I run into a filament that like is kind of lackluster and might have gotten saturated by something, I can dry the thing and then I can put it away in like a nice official spot. So that should be nice when that finally arrives. Imagine you like DeWalt that much. He got a lot of tools, man. Everything under the sun. You know, he's got DeWalt drills. He's got DeWalt flashlights. He's got DeWalt, like... I think he's got, like, a DeWalt... I think he actually has a lawnmower that is DeWalt, if I remember right. And, like, it runs off of one of those batteries, which I think is hilarious. If my memory serves me right. I think that's right. He used to have gas-powered, but, like... I think he's got issues with that because it just vibrates way too freaking much. And he doesn't have a big yard. So it's just like, whatever. Get a battery-operated one. It'll work just fine. Anyway. But that was a fun thing. That was like... I have had very few circumstances where I have actually had to use that 3D printer for practical reasons. So it's really fun to, like, have a situation where I'm like, I can do the thing! So, yeah. Now, there's another thing that I'm currently working on. And it may or may not have to do with coming up with a way of putting an NFC tracker inside of 3D printed objects. Perhaps. Now, what I'm going to do with that, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I did have one idea recently. I was like, oh, Listless says that sounds ... moderately illegal. Oh, no. No, it's not illegal. But there is nothing illegal about putting an NFC tag into a printed thing. But fun at the same time? Right. Well, here's the thing. If I 3D print a thing that has an NFC tag in it, and if the 3D print itself advertises the fact it has NFC built into it, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun to just, like, somebody to find it and be like, what is this? And then they see the NFC tag and they're like, oh. And then they take it and they scan it, and then it just rigrolls them. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm not planning on doing, you know, anything malicious with it. I mean, you know, malicious to an extent that it would, like, hurt somebody. Yeah, I'm not going to, like, redirect into a virus or something. Though I don't know, that's probably not a good thing to be teaching people. I shouldn't be telling people, like, oh, hey, you should scan any random NFC token that you possibly find. Rickroll the entire town. I've had some ideas for things that... Okay, so here's one other thing that I thought about. And this goes right back to what we were talking about earlier with merchandising. Imagine this. We've joked all the time about the fact that my name is BitB, and everybody has asked, when's Bitcoin gonna become a thing? First of all. Second of all, yeah, I'm not gonna actually make a crypto coin because that would be shitty. However, I think it would be funny if I made a fake one. You know, like a fake crypto coin that, like, I advertise as being a crypto coin, but it's not actually a crypto coin. But, you know, I actually make it out of, like, some really nice filament and things like that. And the thing that I kind of want to try and do is, just so that, like, you know, I'm not just sending 3D printed fake crypto coins. I actually want there to be some sort of function to it. So, how cool would it be if I made a Bitcoin, but then I make it so that it has a little NFC tag in it, And if you take it and if you scan it with an NFC device like your phone or something, it links back to me. Wouldn't that be fun? And it'd be kind of practical too. I mean, you know, you would never actually go to any of my socials or anything like that in that method. But just the fact that you could, I think is a really neat thing. I think that'd be a really neat, like, way to advertise the coin, essentially. And to, like, give it more value than just, oh, collector item that I will put on a shelf and never use again. You know, I like that as concept, and it is something that I have considered maybe doing manufacturing-wise for a product that you could possibly pick up at some point. That's a think. That's a thinker. Anyway, we've been going for about 2 hours now, and again, communication seems fairly stable. Looking at my task manager, yeah, we got, like, clean across the board. I'm not seeing any kind of weird problems. What do you think would happen if I sign one of the Snatcher contracts? I think we already know. He works you to the bone, and then he kills you. And I'm not sure what happens after that, but pretty sure you're just dead. But link it to your Twitch profile, sell them, hide them around, send them to others to hide around, have people find/buy them and scan them, and successful networking. See, now you're thinking. I like the feel that it's kind of ARG-ish, you know? I think that would be fun. If anything, I know many people all across this fun little nation of mine, including people that live in places like, you know, in California. I know people that live in Wisconsin. I know people that live off in, like, I think Oklahoma, if I remember correctly. I know people that live in Maine. I know people that live in Texas. And, like, I think it would be fun just to, like, print off a shitload of these things and then, like, distribute them out to these people, like, you know, just UPS them a bunch of these things that have been programmed with me, and then just make it a little scavenger hunt. And wouldn't it be fun if the scavenger hunt, like, ended in some way with, like, some sort of so see, now we're getting real deep in the woods, because what if each one of these coins have something extra along with it? Like an extra code or something similar. This could be something. I like this as an idea. I mean, it sounds exciting, right? I think I would definitely want to, like, expand out my influence on this one, though. Yeah. Also, I need to look up the legalese for whether or not you are even allowed to do something like this, because technically, at what point does it stop being like a scavenger hunt and it starts becoming littering? How many of these coins can we just, like, leave around everywhere and not have it actually, like, have charges pressed on you? And what would happen if, you know, law enforcement actually ran up to somebody who was doing this? You know what I mean? Like, what would they say? Just being like, hey, what are you putting there? What are you doing? What are you putting out? I don't want anybody to get shot. You know what I mean? And we live in the good old United States of America, where that can happen. Scavenger hunt. I mean, yeah. It's kind of like that. I did also think that, like, I mean, if you're going to go full on ARG, you make it so that each one of the coins has its own separate clue to the next location of the next one. And then you just hide them all over the United States. But you hide them in, like, specific locations. And that's less going to be an advertisement for me. I mean, it might be at the end of the day. But it's more of, like, an actual scavenger hunty kind of thing. Trying to make a doodle of you smacking YouTube with an image. No. No talk. Only image. Only image. Anyway. So what is What else is going on this fun little internet of ours? Anything fun? Anything weird? There's one thing I was thinking about doing at some point here. A lot of streamers have done this, and I've kind of like avoided doing it like the plague for a while. But I actually do think it would be kind of fun since I have a community of people and people that can do recommendations for stuff. And also, I have a set of moderators over on the Discord. So I was actually thinking about possibly doing a media share stream at some point. I think that'd be kind of fun. You know, just like tell people, hey, I would like to get recommendations for things to watch on the stream, please and thank you. You know, I think that'd be kind of neat. That'd be nifty. I think it'd be fun. Now, again, I have moderators that will have to sift through them and make sure that you're not sending just terrible, trollish things that are going to get me TOS'd off the planet. But I think it'd be fun if we did it. I would 100% send the video of you explaining how oven worked, though. Where the heck? I just heard a ba-doop noise. Was that me? Was that? Hold on a second. Oh gosh darn it, the Discord client over on my stream PC did that. Sorry. I knew I remembered to turn Discord notifications off, but I opened up Discord for like a brief moment. Oops. Yeah, oopsies. I do my best to remember. I swear. 100%. Yeah, video of explaining how oven work. Didn't somebody just recently find a sequel to that? I think somebody found like the exact same joke except in a different comic. Oh, you posted the thing in the art channel. That's what that was. Oh yeah, there it is. You will look at an adorable picture of cat. Yes, you will. Nice. Thank you for the picture. That's adorable. My best friend made a YouTube video with me in it. Heck yeah, boy. Heck yeah. Let's see. I'm going to return to the dens of the internet to see if there's anything interesting or noteworthy happening. I'm seeing a heaping helping of nothing like super noteworthy or something that like jumps out at me. Let's keep it that way. Oh god, I don't need anything negative on my timeline. That tends to be what ends up happening. Actually, I'm gonna go over to Ars Technica. Actually, I saw a couple of articles that were kind of interesting with that. What was the thing that man, I've been following this one story that's been going on for a while that's been interesting. So I guess there's a brand of chocolate that they advertise as putting like psychedelics in the chocolate. First of all, didn't even know that was a thing that was legal. Apparently, there are companies that can just like put psychedelic mushrooms into chocolate, which is weird. But then I found out that, and before you, yeah, I'm sure there are some people that heard that and was just like, oh, can we get a brand? Can I get a brand information on that one? That's not, you know, it's not that I'm thinking about trying it. I'm just curious. I'm curious about the name and all that. So yeah. Before you start being like that, though, the reason why I bring it up is because the articles have been talking about how people have been going very ill after eating this chocolate. Specifically, that, you know, reports of people that have, you know, like dizziness, sickness, and many reports of seizure-related things. So yeah, maybe don't have these. Do not eat the forbidden chocolate. but I remember some new reports kept on coming out about this stuff, and apparently the ingredient that is causing this to happen is it's like a manufactured artificial psychedelic, which is funny because they advertise that it's like a premium chocolate bar and all that stuff, and just like, oh, okay, so you're using an artificial psychedelic chemical instead of, I mean, I don't know whether or not they're actually using that chemical from the mushroom itself, but like the manufacturing process of actually creating it is apparently not great and is causing people to like fall really ill. So, ugh. So that's kind of creepy. It's reached a point where like it's being pulled off of shelves, and good. I think that's probably the best thing they can do at this moment, just so that somebody doesn't get curious and see that on a store shelf and go, ooh, can I get super, actually, is zooted the word? I associate zooted with weed. I don't know what you get if you go on mushrooms. I don't know. Me be a straight-laced individual that doesn't even drink alcohol, Yeah, zooted is the Mary Jane. Right. So I'm not going to say zooted. What the heck happens when you do, the funny fungus? Unsure. So yeah, I remember there were those stories. Oh, and then there's all the stories about frickin' Adobe. Frickin' Christ. Yeah, Adobe can stop existing at any time. Please and thank you. I hate them so much. Yeah, you could say like it's a trip. So yeah, okay. Trip is pretty much the proper word. But anyway, no, I'm sure everybody knows, Adobe being jerks and just being like, hey guys, just so you know, this live service program that we have been gouging you for many, many years for, and how like, you have, how like it's industry standard and we're basically locking you in and forcing you to end up using the software, and how like, AI is a thing. Can we has? And I'm just being like, yeah, those cloud services that we offer to allow you to have a whole bunch of your work up in the cloud. We kind of want to use that now, so blah, 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 blah. Adobe being pro AI is trending again. I mean, it keeps trending just because like it's freaking garbage what they did. And the other thing that's really been pissing people off is the fact that like then suddenly a bunch of people got angry at that and they said like, well, no, we don't want that. We're not happy about this. We want to uninstall and we want to cancel early because we don't want to be spending a monthly fee for something that we're not going to be using. And then Adobe went, oh, okay, sure, you can go ahead and do that. But the contract that we had you signed requires you to also pay a cancellation fee on top of ending your other fees. And the cancellation fee is $200 goddamn dollars. Which I know for some people, $200 is a lot of freaking dollars, especially in this economy. So for them to just suddenly go like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll refund you. So the refund for your order would be, we're going to be refunding about like 6 months. So actually, let's just say that somebody like gets Adobe Creative, Creative Suite for about like 4 months. Let's say like 4 months is left. It's like, okay, we'll refund you the amount, which is somewhere around $250. Okay, well, we'll refund you that, but we are also charging you the $200 fee for for the fact that you want to cancel early. And it's just like, okay, so what's the point of me canceling in the first place? I'm going to end up losing about like freaking $30 extra. Might as well just not even deal with it. Might as well just like let you have those monthly fees and then just call it a day once and not renew at a certain point. That's like 4 tanks of gas, the fuck? So yeah, people are not happy about that. And in fact, you know, the one person that is the most important in this whole situation that isn't happy about that, the government. The government are like, I'm sorry, that's entrapment. You are pretty much forcing people to pay this ridiculous amount of money for something that they definitely do not want to use anymore. How about no? And I don't know if that lawsuit's been going anywhere or anything. I know for a fact that they did want to press charges. Whether or not they've decided to change that up, like, in the background or not, or if there's anything more to that, I don't know. The government siding with the little guy made me shook. I mean, what I'm thinking is that there's probably a lot of people in the government that probably use Adobe. And, like, you know, that they're probably getting the word for this and just being like, wait, hold up. They're making us do what? Who wants to bet? Who wants to bet? It's just like somebody pissed off the wrong person in the government office and just being like, this is outrageous, sir. What's my favorite video game quote? My favorite is, seems like you made a mistake when filling out your address. Let me fix that for you. See, I have no idea what the context for that quote is. I think one of my favorite ones is anything Sam Fisher says, honestly. When Sam Fisher speaks, it's a treat and a half. Because he is, like, especially when he's interrogating people, because, like, he absolutely just, it's Kanito. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's terrifying. Is Adobe that one art program? It's like all the art programs. They're the people that do Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, After Effects, and many other things that many people use on a regular basis. So, yeah. Oh, auditions. Anyway. So, yeah, people are not happy with that, and people are actively walking away. And I talked about this on a previous stream, but when I picked up Adobe CS6 a long time ago. And I have just been doing nothing but using CS6 for an incredibly long period of time. And that sucks because I'm pretty much trained on that software. So if I wanted to move over to a different piece of software, it's going to require a very steep learning curve that I'm going to have to finally break through. And I haven't found a piece of software that really resonates with me enough that I feel that I can. Not from a lack of trying. I've been doing everything I possibly can to finally get to, like, a different piece of software, whether it be something from Apple, whether it be another PC-related software. He's been tough. I'ma just stick with Ibis Paint. Fair. No, don't get Adobe. Adobe's smelly. But anyway. But yeah, I've been using CS6 for a while. And I mentioned that my whole internet-related problems that I had not too long ago pretty much forced me to make some changes to... Well, not really forced me to make changes. It's more like I was doing tech support so much and so hard that I was willing to try anything to fix things. Krita is life, says Liz. Krita is good. I've used Krita. It's pretty decent. So, yeah, I was trying to do anything to try and fix things, including completely reinstalling Windows on my stream PC, which is why a bunch of things that were previously working on my stream, aka a bunch of the little toggles for, for VNAN, suddenly stopped working, because I'm like, oops, I got rid of all those toggles. And now I must fix them, but I cannot fix them, because I have other things I have to work on. Dang it. My only issue is their whole rendering animation function forcing a black background instead of keeping it transparent. Oh, actually didn't know that was a problem. Well, now I know. Yerp. But there's probably something you can do about that. God. I don't know the software nearly enough for me to be able to say for certain. It's very interesting. All right. But anyway. Right. So, Keep in mind, I use Adobe for so many freaking things on my setup. So I needed to reinstall Adobe CS6 on the Stream PC. Especially since I had a really important meeting that I was going to be doing pretty soon that required me to be able to use Adobe Auditions live on the fly with them using filters. And this was not negotiable. I had to get Adobe CS6 working on this computer in order to make things function and work. Bread is good. Bread is delicious. So, I literally have the physical CDs, and I install CS6 directly from CD. Then I go and I do updates from there. Because, you know, nobody can just rip those CDs out of my hands, which is what I thought for the longest time. But then, I got the thing installed. I started the process of, like, doing updates and things like that, as well as also registering with Adobe. Because here's the thing, you can install them onto your computer, but until you actually register the software through Adobe servers, and you know the program needs to have the little handshake with their servers before you can be allowed to use it. It, you know, as a security feature to make sure that you actually bought the software. So I went to go and do that exact same thing and to sign up. Well, I don't know if it's a case of like something updating on a browser side of things, or if it's something that Adobe updated on their own website. Frankly, at this point, I think I would blame Adobe for this one. But I tried to go to the sign up page, and it gave me a notification in the little window for signing up, or, you know, signing in, that my browser was updated, was out of date rather, and I needed to log into Adobe using an updated browser. Guess what I can't do with a piece of software that is 10 or 15 years old? Effectively, what Adobe seems to be doing is they're saying, oops, sorry, our website is no longer compatible with this piece of software that you bought 15 years ago. Sucks to be you. Now, again, I don't know if this is just a really convenient misunderstanding or something that just happened out of nowhere at the absolute worst time possible. But it really does seem almost like, again, it's really anti-consumer for suddenly their website to no longer work with older browsers. Like, it just seems, it was really convenient that just suddenly that change happened at the exact same time that right now Adobe is making all of the worst decisions in the world. Now, thankfully, there is still a way that you can register your software with Adobe. It just requires you to do it offline. And here's how that works. You go into your Adobe software, and at the part where they tell you that you need to sign into an account in order to register and, you know, enable your software for use, instead, have your computer offline and then insist with the software that you cannot connect to the internet. And then it'll try and like force you and just be like, no, you really should. You should log into the internet because it'll allow you to get proper updates and things like that. And then you go, no, sorry, this computer just can't connect to the internet. My bad. And then it will give you the option to register in offline mode. From there, it will generate like a string of numbers, and that is your request code. You copy that, and then you, for me, I copied it and I pasted it into like a flash drive, and then I brought it to a computer that was actually online. And then you go to a specific website, which, by the way, that was another website that was really buried and like you couldn't really find it easily. And it did require me to do a little bit of research to find it. But I found the website, and it's Adobe's offline registration website, which looks really depreciated and broken nowadays, by the way. Like, it's using like really basic typefaces and definitely looks like it was made like back in older internet times. But anyway, you go to that website, you paste the reference code, or, you know, the request code into that website along with your product key along with it. You press enter, and then they give you a response code. You take that response code, copy, paste it into a flash drive or something like that. You take it back over to the system that is offline, and then you take that response code and you paste it into the window that the software is giving you. Click enter, and it registers you offline. Technically, that works. However, it's inconvenient as hell. It is like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say it's like pulling teeth because, you know, it's not too ridiculously hard. I'll say it's a lot harder to find out that you're capable of doing it in the first place, but it's something that you can do. But the fact that I had to do that in the first place has really made me worried. At this point, I'm fairly certain that like Adobe is doing everything in their power to make people stop using software from 15 years ago. I'd love to stop using software 15 years ago if you made a piece of software that was worth a damn. Huh? Maybe you could actually release a piece of software that I feel I actually own? Because clearly I don't. I'm sorry if I'm going on a little bit of a rant, and I've ranted about this several times on my streams, but it actually makes me upset. This is a piece of software that is, like, instrumental to so many things that I work on. And yet they're just, like, they're trying so hard to pull the rug from under me. Akuma says sips tea. Ha! Good to know that I could, you know, be a little bit of your drama channel for the day. But yeah, no, that's exactly why I am currently trying to find other pieces of software to replace it. You know what I mean? I take your tea and raise you what appears to be a little alcohol. Good drama. Thank you for the tea. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a long, drawn-out freaking rant for me to finally say that I decided to go and buy some Affinity software. I don't know if you guys have like heard of this from the grapevine, but there is a company right now that has kind of like, it's been blowing up as of late because of this whole Adobe bullshit going on. And it's not coming, this isn't coming from like an indie developer or anything, or, you know, a small startup. This is being made by somebody who's like, I'm trying to remember, I think my brother was literally telling me about this. Apparently, like, there's a major company involved with this. Actually, let me pull this up. About software. Okay. I want to take a look at who makes this software. Having trouble finding it. Dang it. Anyway, I didn't look very hard. We'll say that. I don't want to work too hard to do random research while I'm doing live streams. But I will say, I just recently decided to go and pick up software through again the company Affinity, or you know the software brand Affinity, I should say. And Affinity seems to be a lot of people's replacement for Photoshop. And I would like to see that for myself. Because there are videos online of people, I don't know whether or not they were paid to promote it, or if this is just something that spread through the grapevine, who knows. But it does seem like, I've pulled up the tools, and first of all you have to do is, you pay a flat fee, and you get access to the software. End of the deal. End of the deal. And I don't know whether or not they're going to pull the rug later and just be like, nope, sorry, you can't use the software anymore. But it seems like they're not. I don't think they're going to be doing that. But yeah, you pay once and you get access to the software. You're not paying a monthly fee. You're not like, you know, signing up for a ridiculous contractual obligation through a company. You get the software and you're done. I love software like that. okay, like, you know, I've been open source, doing open source things like hell for a while. And it's not that I'm only going to do open source. No, it's the fact that, like, I just want to have a piece of software that works really well. And if it works really well, and if you have a reasonable price for it, I'll pay for it. Adobe doesn't. But anyway, so yeah, the good news is that with this software, it is literally one and done. You pay for it once, and then you just basically have a license for as long as the software works on a computer, I guess. And the software that is included is like a photo editor, something that I guess, like, there's a specific typography software that exists in Adobe that I guess is really popular. I didn't know it existed. Well, there's a carbon copy replacement for that. There's a version, I guess, a photo editor and Photoshop. I think one of them is Illustrator. I don't know. It's like a package of 3 specific softwares. And from what I've seen, it looks like it works. It's just there are some functions that are kind of moved around a little bit. It's kind of it. That's about the gist of this stuff. But visually, it looks exactly like Adobe software, and it seems like it'll do exactly the work. And considering that this is technology that has existed for a very long time, I'm talking like, how long has it been since Photoshop was originally released? It's been a while, man. Photo editing has not changed much aside from a lot of, like, you know, either like really nice assistive tools or AI integrations and stuff. More or less, like, this software will do the deal, you know? So at the very least, I have found a piece of software that will replace my picture editing stuff. And I do plan on moving a lot of my presets and my thumbnail generating stuff over to this software instead. So, already made plans for that. As for audio, I know of a few pieces of audio editing software. I think I just need to look up Adobe product replacements and just figure out what I could possibly use. The big problem here, though, is my video editing. Like, for me, video editing, I have a very specific set of tools that I know how to use, that I can use fairly fast, as well as, like, when you know your way around a specific piece of software, you have the confidence to know that you are capable of pulling off specific types of effects and movements and certain visuals. And if I move over to a new piece of editing software, my confidence in that kind of thing is going to be drastically lowered. And I will be a little bit less experienced when it comes to making stuff. So I worry about moving over to a different editing software because that's kind of my bread and butter. I don't know. I'm going to see whether or not I find... A lot of people have been championing... what was that one software? Like DaVinci Resolve? Lots of people have talked about DaVinci Resolve. And my main problem with DaVinci Resolve is that it just isn't the same workflow. And people have said, like, oh, well, once you learn the workflow of DaVinci Resolve, suddenly it's super easy, and it's the easiest thing in the world. It's like, that's easier said than done. You know, if you've been working with the exact same type of editing software for the past... Well, actually, funny enough, I was working with Windows Movie Maker, and then I upgraded to Sony Vegas, and then I moved over to Adobe CS6. So, like, I've more or less been working with editors that basically work exactly the same for the past, like, 20 years of my life. That's not an easy thing to break. You know, like, I really genuinely gotta, like, have a piece of software that has a very similar workflow. If DaVinci Resolve were to release a version of their software that actually has linear editing tools, oh, I'd be all on top of that. Are you kidding me? I'd pay them right away. Because I've heard that apparently the engine that they use is really good. So, hey. I don't know, man. I'd go for that. But yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's anybody else that has a really good alternative out there. I've attempted to try and use Vegas recently. My problem is that Vegas is owned by Magix, and Magix I've had really bad experiences with Magic software. Like, their stuff back in the day crashed all the freaking time. I just don't trust them. So, you know, in fact, after this stream is over, I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go and do some research to find some replacement software because, yeah, there's only so much complaining I can do, and eventually, you just got to start actually, like, doing something. So, you know, it doesn't help that, like, as of recently, I don't even know how they're capable of doing this, but I have reinstalled CS6 on, again, this computer, and even though it is working and running perfectly fine, I'm getting notification pop-ups whenever I start software on that computer telling me that Adobe is ending the support for that software. Which I already knew that they basically stopped supporting that software like 5 or 10 years ago. But it's kind of spooky that they're coming in now and saying, hey, for the record, we're done. That just seems like an omen. Like that's basically telling me it's like, end of life, ding, 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 software is dead. And yeah, that's scary. I'm taking them at their word and being like, okay, all right, software is dying, so I'm gonna go and find a different replacement software now. See ya, goodbye. Anyway, all right, so this has been partially a regular me talkie stream, partially me ranting, which tends to be how this comes up. This tends to be how things end. The issue lay within they're trying to get people on their new shit when they know that none of their new stuff is as good as the old stuff. Rebuttal. Actually, Adobe software, there have been some significant updates that have happened over the course of the existence of Creative Cloud. Keep in mind, I believe Creative Suite 6 came out, I think in like 2012, if I remember right. Again, that is at least 10 years of time. And they have released very significant updates to their software that I would really love to use. For example, there is typography-related stuff that is built into After Effects and Premiere, if I remember correctly. Actually, captioning, that's it. There's captioning stuff that would be extremely valuable to use nowadays, especially in the TikTok era, where having automatic captions would be so convenient, and you don't have to worry about messing around and like actively typing that shit in. But the problem is, you can't do that on CS6. That is a technology that they came out with and released on Creative Cloud. Knight of the Garden. Look, it's the guy who made the cool video. You're going to have to be more specific, because I've made many. But hi, thanks for coming in. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the compliment. I'm currently doing live stream and talking about Adobe and the grift. True. I don't know what, like, thing is, I don't know what market you're coming from. I don't know if you're coming from TikTok. I don't know if you're coming from the YouTube. I don't know if you're coming from my streamy stuff. I don't know. Oh, you found me from the Brian video. Nice. Awesome. I found you on Tumblr before that. Hey, that's cool. Oh, man. I really genuinely hope that Brian video, like, keeps going forward. Like, I'm hoping that thing gets a second wind. Like, it's kind of died in the algorithm, but with the way that the algorithm works and the way that pop culture works, I'm kind of hoping that there's enough, like, sticking things within the algorithm and with pop culture that maybe it's going to turn around and someone will find the video and be like, hold the phone. This is kind of cool. This is a neat video. So, you know. Only non-cool video you have is that one oven one. But that's a personal bias because it gave me an actual headache of overthinking. Is neat. And I believe in you. Thank you. Thank you. That means so much. Anyway, we were talking about software-related stuff before. I gotta go look into this oven video. I mean, the video is basically It was a Q&A that I did over on TikTok where somebody asked me the Garfield question. You know, the one where it is, why is it called oven when you in the cold food of out hot eat the food? And I responded, I'm going to try and remember correctly. I think I said, that's actually a very good question. You see, when food cold out, eat food the cold, in not out oven hot. So when hot in oven food, you of hot cold eat and of cold out food, whereby food hot is. Thanks for asking. It's just like, it just burned into my head. Wisdom. I understand. I see the cosmos. Processing. Processing. Shutting down. It doesn't get better after time. It still made my eye twitch. You know what? I'm glad. That was the entire point. I was just like, yup. Here's another fun thing. Technically, if you can actually dissect the bullshit that I said, you find out that I didn't even answer the question. All I did was I literally just described how an oven works. That's it. That's all that gobbledygook was. I didn't even answer the question of why do we call it oven that way. Here, let me recenter myself a little bit. I notice I'm a little bit off kilter. That video is also my favorite because that's the one that I found you on. Very nice. Yeah, we were talking about software before, right? Oh yeah, bit. What's between those ears? Absolutely none. Absolutely zero. There ain't no ears here. Don't make fun of my lack of, hearing utensils. Anyway, oh yeah, we were talking about Adobe software. So yeah, unfortunately, there is. Oh, hello. I just cheered 100 bits. Thank you. I appreciate that. That performance deserved money. Oh, thank you. That was super nice. What's between those ears? The void. No thoughts. Only water. Well, here's the thing. There ain't none. They don't exist. All right. I thought that about birds too. Yeah, right? You look at birds and you're just like, where's your ears, you little piece of shit? But then, like, you pull back the feathers and it's just like, oh, is there a tiny hole there? I just gotta move your water around and find the... Yeah. Find it in there, apparently. Perhaps. No ears. Snap must have took them. No, he's good. He doesn't need to eat any ears. He's good. He's a good boy. Move around the water to find the water. There's just more water, sir. Dear God. Anyway, so I've said this many times, including, like, I've talked about this with my brother a couple of times. If Adobe were to release Adobe CS7 tomorrow, and if they made a promise that with Adobe CS7 they are not planning on nickeling diming you monthly, if it was just the software itself, and if they promised that, like, we're gonna release a couple of updates to, like, maybe up security for the software. If they did that, I think I would buy it in a heartbeat. I don't know where I would get the funding. I don't know, like, how I would pull the strings, but I'd figure that shit out. And I would pick up Adobe, because all I want from Adobe is I want to be able to get the software, own the software, and I want the software to work. End of story. That's it. And here's the thing. They could possibly do something like that because they've been sitting on 10 years of upgrades on Adobe Creative Cloud. Why don't you just release, like, we're currently living in this fun era of AI tools and whatnot. Well, how about you just go ahead and release, like, the last 5 or 6 years of updates in Adobe CS7 and call that Adobe CS7, and then be like, but if you want the most up-to-date pieces of software that we are releasing, go get Creative Cloud. And I know that there's probably a few people that are going to look at the idea of getting Adobe CS7 and they're going to leave Creative Cloud. I know that, okay? Like, that's one of the reasons why they probably would never do that. I'm well aware. I'm not stupid. I know that would probably not work well for their bottom line. But you know one thing that would definitely help improve morale and make people like them just that tiny bit more? If they offered a software that you actually felt like you owned at the end of the day. One that didn't feel predatory. Because what they've done is they've essentially made it so that everybody doesn't trust them anymore. So, you know. Dear God, there's just more water. I burnt the water. How the fuck did you burn the water? Oh, like I said, that's my pipe dream. That's my one day maybe. Maybe, like, if I'm real lucky, maybe they'll go and do it. I don't know. It'd be nice. It'd be super kind. It would be very, very nice if they did the thing. Newberry Buster post and a what? I re-say that sentence because it breaks me. I burnt the water, has the same energy as water in the fire. Why is there water in the fire? Reminds me of SpongeBob when they constantly had fireplaces. Do you hear from your mouth or eyeballs, or just have no way of hearing? What? What? Huh? Maybe that's why I read you guys as opposed to, like, you know, maybe it's like, you know, a coping mechanism. Maybe I haven't heard anything the entire time I've streamed. What? What did you say, Sonny? What? Oh, new Billy Bust Up post. Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know. I'm trying not to, like, follow too closely with Billy Bust Up, if at all possible. Just because I want to make sure that, like, if there is anything in the game, I don't want to be, like, super spoiled by anything. And if there's a real good joke or a really good sight gag that they do in the game, I've already been spoiled by a few sight gags, and that makes me sad. So I'm just like, oh man, I can't get that excitement back. It involves my favorite puppet. Puppy. Jesus. Puppet. Has anybody drawn Fantokyo as, like, a dog? As a puppy? Somebody get on that. You! Ruff. Yes. Yeah. It's the internet. Of course they did. Drawn who as what? Fantokyo from Billy Bust Up. Which, Billy Bust Up is a 3D platformer that is a musical. And it looks freaking adorable, and I have kickstarted it, and I can't wait for it to come out. Me, I have been a 3D platforming fan for a very long time, and I blame the N64 for that, because there were a lot of 3D platformers on there. Because I think a lot of people were just like, I don't know that Mario 64 is popular. Let's make a Mario 64. Let's do that. I've heard of the puppet, but I haven't played it, just the small vids. I'm looking forward to when it finally comes out. From what I hear, they have said that the game is either close to or is capable of being played all the way through from start to finish now. Which is a big deal. Last platformer I played and enjoyed was Little Kitty Big City, or was it Voodoo Vince? I don't know. I remember Little Kitty Big City came out recently, so maybe. Toss up between the two. boy, the last 3D platformer that I was like really into. What was that? Actually, let me go over to my Steam library, and maybe I'll see if what's like the first platformer that jumps out at me. Sort by last played. Okie dokie. Oh, let's keep it to games that okay, well, the technical last one that I played was this game called Poi, POI, and it's like this indie 3D platformer game that I was recommended to by a friend, who like he says that like it's one of the biggest inspirations and one of like the main things that like kind of I don't know. His style of either game development or art or what have you is, and also his tastes too. This game like massively influenced it, and I played it, and I'm like, yeah, this is very U-coded. I was like, yeah, I absolutely see it. You're right. And I've played it, and it's pretty good, but I don't know. I just like I'm not massively captivated by it. It's not bad. It's just kind of like it's an indie game, and my god, you can tell it's an indie game, but it's got a lot of heart behind it. I guess the last like popular third party, or no, actually 3D platformer rather. The most popular 3D platformer that I recently played was the Spyro Reignited trilogy, which I still need to dive back into that, by the way. I believe we finished up Spyro 1 and 2, and I need to finish up the third one. But that is on a list of many games that I need to play, so. What was like the last one after that? Well, okay, there's Here Comes Nico, which it's a 3D platformer, but it uses 2D sprites as like the characters for the 3D platformer, so. And that, I don't know, that one's just wholesome. Have I heard of Cult of the Lamb? Oh, I have, absolutely. I've considered playing it a couple of times. Have you heard that the Elaine stuffed animal has a removable scarf thing, and underneath she has a scar? Hidden drama! Lore! I have the Elaine plush, which, by the way, I have supported so many freaking makeshift campaigns. Like, there are way too many makeshift campaigns that I'm just like, you know what? I really freaking support this person. I'm gonna get their plushie. And then I get their plushie. And then I have to, like, find space for it again. I'm running out of room. I don't know where I'm supposed to put these things anymore. Cool thing you can use Cult of the Lamb with, which I think the viewers can become the followers in the game. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And that sounds like I could cause some major trauma to people a part of the community. So that'd be fun. Favorite indie game is A Hat in Time. Bingo. Hat in Time is just like, it's so freaking wholesome. Yeah. What's A Hat in Time? Rabbit hole and a half. Well, first of all, that's kind of where inspiration for this guy came from. He is called Snatcher Crab, or Snab for short, and he's based on one of the villains from that game. Hat in Time is an indie 3D platformer that stars a hat child, or hat kid as they are called, who flies through space, and then their spaceship ends up stalling out in like this one particular galaxy, and she loses all of the fuel for her spaceship, which comes in the form of these like timepieces, basically hourglass things, and you have to go down to the planet and collect all of them. And the game has got a lot of influence from stuff like the Super Mario platformers. It's also got influence from I'm trying to think. Like, so there's like Super Mario stuff. There's also, oh man, what other things influence Hat in Time? It's massively influenced by Mario games. However, it's not like a direct carbon copy of the mechanics of a Mario game. It's very individual in its mechanics and the way that it works. And that was a game that was kickstarted many years ago. He's old as the hills, but the community is still like, you know, massive cult community involved with it, as well as like it's a really good 3D platformer to just pick up and play whenever, because it feels like a game that is timeless. And there's still a fairly strong mod community that is still making content for the game even to this day, as well as many creative people in the community that are like, you know, artists and, you know, people and all that. Just I don't know. I like the Hat in Time community very much. Through like its ups and downs, like its strengths, its weaknesses. Like I've been around more or less for a very long time. So much so that I have pretty much ended up like force of will, managed to like force myself into a DLC, like an official one. Yeah, I am a voice actor in that DLC, and I actually play as one of my favorite villains in the game, and one of the most famous villains in the game, Snatcher. Yeah. The rabbit hole with Hat in Time, it goes deep with me and my community. Absolute insanity amounts. But anyways, so yeah, if you want to know a little bit about my humor and, you know, some of the stuff that I've been working on over the years, it's a pretty good way to find out. You can hear the song Your Contract Has Expired in an SMG4 video. I can believe it. Here's the thing. Like, not only is Hat in Time a cult classic, but also I think it's kind of like it's wormed its way pretty heavily into pop culture, and you can hear stuff like the music from the game, you can hear sound effects from the game. So many different things you can find, like, and also, I genuinely feel like there's a lot of influence from Hat in Time that has moved over to other games as well, in my opinion. Trying to think of some good examples of games that I would say definitely do that. Well, I mean, as much as I'm sure that, like, Billy Bust-Up is its own thing from, like, an inspiration standpoint, I have a hard time believing that they don't have certain things that they've been influenced by. Like, I looked at Billy Bust-Up and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so Hat in Time cute coded, what the fuck? So, I think that's definitely a good example of one of those games that I was just like, oh, I can feel the echoes of the Hat in Time gods. Snatcher is kind of how I found you, Bit. Yep. I mean, a lot of people say that. A lot of people are just like, yeah, I remember hearing you do your Snatcher impression, and then I popped in here and I said hello, and then I didn't leave. I was stuck here forever. One of the older Snatcher plays the old... oh yeah, the dating game. That was cursed as all hell. Regret? No regret? I don't know. I am unsure about that one. Void has taken views into the stream. Also, you know, there are plenty of little, like, you know, Hat in Time tracks that you can hear when you're watching this stream. So, for example, you're currently listening to a cover of Sand and Sails, which is a song that was actually cut from Hat in Time. And it is Sand and Sails Heat Gust remix, and it was done by Carlos Ain. I think that's how you pronounce that. But yeah, it's like a jazzy version of Sand and Sails, which Sand and Sails is a freaking great music track. Do do What other Hat in Time music do I have sitting in here? Obviously, we have Peace and Tranquility. Where is that here? There it is. I mean, it's just vibes. I think one of my favorite things about this music is that it's one of those rare instances where I think it's like it's got a really weird time signature. I think it's like 6/6 if I remember right. So it's got or 6/2. I don't remember. 6/4. I don't remember my time signature, but it's like 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. It's that kind of time signature, and you don't hear that a lot when it comes to music. Usually you're used to 4/4, which is like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And it's weird because this isn't like a super speedy song or anything. I would say it's about like mid-tempo, but the fact that the time signature has been like, it's running off 6s instead of 4s, it almost makes it feel like the song is dragging out longer. And I think that's a really neat trick. It's a nice trick from like a music standpoint. Let's see. Then there's this. Yeah. Fast food. That's what this is called. The music you hear when you're just sitting down and eating burg. Let's have a heart-to-heart, Lassie. There's Mafia HQ. Yes, Dirty Dingy. Who here wants to play a gambling game with Mafia? Mafia Town is asleep. It reminds me of the rainy vibes of that one map. I think one thing I really like about Hat in Time is that it really gives off vibes of stuff like Super Mario Sunshine, except Super Mario Sunshine is a massive black sheep in the Mario game series, because there are some people that are like, they really like the water mechanics and they really love the game. But then there are other people that are like, yeah, but they added the water mechanics, but then they ended up butchering just the regular platforming mechanics, just to try and satiate those water mechanics. And it's really shitty to control. And I agree in a major way. But I still like Mario Sunshine. From an aesthetic standpoint, I think the controls are perfectly fine. Just you really need to get your head around the water mechanics, and you just kind of need to tell yourself that no, you're not going to be getting a Mario 64 experience when you play Super Mario Sunshine. Not going to happen. Which sucks, but oh well. But yeah, that's one thing I like about Hat in Time, though, is that it really feels like the chapter system takes a lot of inspiration from Mario games, specifically Mario Sunshine. Because Mario Sunshine and also Galaxy. Because with Mario Sunshine and Galaxy, you go off to the map, and there's always something a little bit different that's happened with the map. You're looking around and you're just like, oh, strange thing happened. Suddenly it's raining. Oh no, there's lava. That kind of thing. I was trying to finish this one math problem before class ended, and I had headphones on, and then Rush Hour turned on. Oh god, must speed math, go! I could see that. And then I've got several tracks from the Yakuza Metro DLC. Holy freaking crap, man. So much good shit, man. Now I just want to live in a neon hell. Do 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 do. And yes, there's the classic. Brings back memories, man. It reminds me of like the early days of the Kickstarter way back when. Though Mafia Town's theme sounded really different back then, though, if I remember correctly. When I want to chill, definitely love putting on the Yakuza Metro DLC. Fun place to run around and collect stickers. Yeah, stickers was an interesting mechanic that they added with the Yakuza Metro DLC. Oh yeah, 12345 is a reasonable password, and I will hear nothing else of it. I remember that one. I'm trying to remember what the context was for that, though. What? Yeah. What? Why did I say? What was the point when I made that joke? It's so weird because like I remember these lines from Snatcher Plays, but God help me, I don't remember why I said them. And every once in a while, somebody will bring up a quote, and I'll just be like, "Wait, I said that? What the frig?" Something with a teleporter. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I've said a lot of stuff on the internet, man. I've done a lot of talking, a lot of like speech and things. Probably was a date and time. Yeah, probably. I went to the Snatcher box and I found it, and it was very amusing. I love the Snatcher box. That's the best ever. Yes, I'm sneaking on. Tickets are expensive. Again, it'll be interesting when Billy Bust Up comes out, because like that is definitely one of those games that I saw and I'm like, I don't want to say I am hoping that it completely rekindles my love for stuff related to Hat in Time and like, or Hat in Time related vibes. I don't want to put that stress on them because they're just an indie developer and they're not making a game that is a Hat in Time sequel or anything. I'm not expecting them to do that. Okay? Like, take that stress off. I'm going to be happy with whatever it is in whatever form it takes. But just the wholesome vibes of it and the way that it looks and the way that it looks like it feels, you know? I have a lot of faith and I have a lot of belief that they will succeed and make something great, you know? It's one of those things where, like, it's one of those, like, I've been around the block quite a few times. And when you see a gem, you know it's a gem, you know? Gonna go AFK for a second. I'm probably going to be ending the stream sometime pretty soon because we've been going on for about 3 hours here. So, you know, just heads up for you. But yeah, we've been going on for about 3 hours and we have had a total of 0 drop frames. And that is quite the record for these streams, let me tell you. Finally, I feel like we have actually managed to break ourselves out of that weird frickin' funk. Oh, what's my favorite Hat in Time quote? Man. It's probably a Snatcher line, honestly. What would it be? Sorry, I'm fidgeting with the thing again. There are so many to pick. I think the entirety... So there was that one sequence on the train, you know, like the murder mystery part of the train, where you can select Hat Kid as being one of the suspects. And, like, you know, she's the one that did the murder. Honestly, the entirety of that whole thing that Conductor says in reference to, you know, Hat Kid being the murderer, I think is one of my favorites. I don't remember it word for word. But, like, I do remember he's like, you killed that owl in cold blood! I'm just like, holy shit. Actually, I'm just fine. Akumu has returned. Hello! That was not a very long time to leave. Remember that seal on the ship and one of their lines of dialogue was egg? Egg is a very good line. Egg is one of the redeems, if I remember correctly. Would you ever do another stream where you play a Hat in Time mod? Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of just a matter of, like, do I feel the time is right? And also, is there any particular mods that I see that, like, immediately snags my interest and I want to go, that. And to be fair, there are a lot of people that are making some really good mods nowadays. So if you are interested, like, go support people that make mods because they do good stuff. And there are many ways that you can do it. Like, you can just go and play some of the mods over in the workshop. There's also, I mean, I recommend not going on Twitter. Just, please don't. Leave. Get off Twitter. If you aren't already there, in fact, if you are there, leave. Please. I'm there. I am personally on Twitter because I have a lot of potential, like, voice acting opportunities that I might need to be there for. So, you know, that's my reason. But I was just going to say that there are some Twitter accounts that are dedicated to showcasing Hat in Time mods and things like that. So, you know, maybe. I want to play the mods, but I have Hat in Time on my Nintendo Switch. Darn. A murder on my Owl Express. And I can't believe it's your uncle's cousin's sisters. Or something. I forget what it was. Uncle's nephew's cousin's sister's uncle. Second removed. Been a while. I think the Murder on the Owl Express in general is just, like, really interesting. It's such a different vibe and a different thing from the rest of the game, and it's so, like, off-putting and strange. It's been like, what murder mystery, huh? Film noir, huh? What's happening? I kind of wish that Hat in Time did more of that, you know? Like, just break conventions. Do whatever the frig you want for every single level. The part where DJ Grooves had that one random cardboard dog. I remember the cardboard dog. And I remember that being, like, you know, on the Owl Express. When did he have a random card? What? What part of the game was that? I'm jealous of you being able to do the Conductor properly. Wait, probably the best character impression I can do of any Hat in Time character would be a tie between Hat Kid, Vanessa, and Cooking Cat. That's not bad. And also, I mean, a lot of people praise me for my Conductor impression. I honestly feel I could work on that. I definitely need to improve on, like, my Scottish accent, because I'm not actually that great at it. Yeah. I'm not gonna own that. One's in the Owl Express, and the other one's the first act of DJ Groove's part. Oh, okay. See, I didn't pay much attention to where, like, you know, random dogs are in the first act. First act is kind of, like, linear, and, if I remember right, you know, it's a combination of both DJ Grooves and Conductor and running through the studio. So. Alright, I don't want to keep you guys for too long here, and also I need to go and do some research to find different pieces of frickin' software. But this has been a very momentous test of the internet. Yeah, it seems like when you connect a computer directly to the router, suddenly a lot of things start working. As well as also, you know, having a router with multiple ports. That helps things out significantly. There is a part of me that almost wants to maybe try and do a wireless stream again, but no. No. I think that's going to cause more problems than actually. Yeah. Well, funny enough, Listless was talking about this earlier in the Discord, that apparently there is an update coming out to OBS which improves Wi-Fi streaming, so you might be able to pull that off. I don't know. I guess for me, I trust a physical line to the internet a hell of a lot more than Wi-Fi, and if I've got the option to do a physical line to the internet, I'm gonna do it. So, anywho-zy-doos, we're going to head over to the end stream page. Oh, this actually feels like official. We had a countdown and everything. We had the streamer window. We had the VTuber window stuff. And we didn't have any crashes. It feels so relieving to be able to just do a live stream. I'm a very simple person. All I want is my streamy bits. That's it. I don't care. And anything else, if I can just do my funny streamy bits, I am satisfied. But again, I would like to thank everybody who stuck around throughout the entirety of the technical errors and things like that, and I apologize significantly for all of these problems. Trust me, I don't like canceling streams, and I especially don't like having to push things back. I don't like technical issues. I don't know a single person that likes them, but yeah, trust me when I say I worked really tirelessly to attempt to try and get all of this stuff working and functioning properly again. And I hope it shows. I tried to be extremely transparent whenever we had any kind of issues. So I hope that showed. And I'm really looking forward to moving back into doing just regular streams where I can just do regular games reliably. And I've got a lot of plans for things that I want to do, including I want to do a return to Power Wash Simulator because we've got some new DLC that has recently come out, as well as some stuff that I have not yet touched. So we're going to have a return to form there. Some updates and some information about what I'm going to be doing for the next few streams, though. Now, again, Power Wash Simulator will probably be happening on Sunday. And I am likely not going to be doing a stream on Saturday. So heads up on that one. I'm not 110% certain on whether or not I'm going to be doing a stream on Sunday, by the way. So, again, just a reminder for that. As for the games that I'm going to be doing for next Wednesday and for next, the Saturday after next Saturday, what are my plans? What am I going to be doing? I know we have a lot of games that we've just been sitting on and not doing anything with. I really should finish up Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow. Did not get around to doing that, so likely I will be doing that next Wednesday. And then for Saturday, I've got a couple of things that are kind of on the line here. Likely, I'll probably just swap back over to doing Undertale Yellow. Really. Now, like I said, that's not going to be this Saturday. As a reminder, that's going to be the Saturday after this Saturday. I'm going to be busy this Saturday, which, worst freaking timing, by the way. It sucks that I'm like, I fixed everything. Oh, I got to take a break. So, oh, well, what are you going to do? Yeah, okay, so that is the plan. Again, thank you guys very much for coming out and doing the whole stream testy thing. My favorite part is going to happen soon when you start Undertale Yellow. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I'm going to take off here, and again, screw Adobe and, everything that they stand for. Okay, I'm going to go. Goodbye and good night. Blah, blah, blah.